The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom,
with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show.
Him? Is he in any of your history podcasts?
I'm sure he's in there. He's probably one of the guys like, we need to do something terrible. Agreed.
Is there a president like in the first 20 that you like?
Is there a president that I like?
Lincoln, or are there bad things too?
Oh,
never mind.
Go ahead and see some of his writings.
Yeah, no, not.
Maybe he's too honest, Abe.
Oh, gotcha. Back off, Abe. Just let that one go, Abe. Do you know an Abe?
He was a wrestler.
No.
Yes.
With the top hat?
Not with it. This is pre-top hat.
Oh, okay. Because that would have been a good bit. The top hat, he comes into the ring with the top hat.
There was a wrestler that used to come in with it. A
Really?
few wrestlers used to come in with a top hat.
What's my guy? I say my guy. Orange Julius. What's his name?
Freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, what's he up to?
He's the international AEW champion.
Of course I knew that.
Killing it.
Yeah. Still the same kind of bit?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Just low key?
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning to everyone out there. Interesting way to start the show. We've got a jam-packed show today. Tons of news, coaching news everywhere. And overnight into this early morning, breaking news from New England, Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots parting ways. We've got Pete Carroll news, Nick Saban news, Kings winning. Yeah. Lots of stuff to cover today on the show, as we will do. Jason Ross here, Christopher Ludd, Carmichael Dave, a couple more days off. He'll be back with us on Tuesday. A lot of you already in this morning. We appreciate that. Oh, Carmichael Dave's in there as well. Look, good morning. Carmichael Dave in on the chat. So all of you, we appreciate you guys up and early this morning. I usually say bright and early, but it's not bright. It's still dark. Still dark out there. We will get into a lot of those things today. Sam Amick, the great Sam Amick, will join us at 8 o'clock. We will also talk business. Yeah, that's right. Sports business.
Good at business.
With our guy Kelly Brothers. He's going to join us at 7:30. We will have tickets to give away to the International Sportsman's Expo between now and 10 o'clock. We have our Jiffy Lube drive of the game. And, yeah, look, it was an earlier game. You were rallied around your radio to listen to the G-Man to see if the Kings were going to win, get the revenge against Charlotte. Well, spoiler, they did that, but I'm not going to give you the Jiffy Lube drive of the game. That's coming up today as well. So plenty for us to get to. We appreciate you guys. You want to chime in, you can at 339-1140 on the text line and phone lines 916 or that's 916-339-1140. Phone lines 800-920-1140. So lots of news to discuss. We will get to that leading off here in a few moments. Yesterday, Chris, I thought about this yesterday after I spent a little bit of time over at my brother's house in the early evening, and they've got a dog, great dog, a lab, and everyone just kept saying, you need a dog, because every time I see their dog Bandit, it's just like, we're best friends, and I'm just playing with the dog, having a time. And I always thought when I was growing up, we had dogs when I was a kid, but when I was like, you get to that point where you're,
we know about your dogs.
what do you mean?
We know what you like to feed your dogs.
Well, that I was a kid. If we're going to say that, yes, we had a beagle, and I thought it would be cool. I don't know. I don't even know if I thought about it. I mean, it was probably like 5. Like, I'm eating Pop Rocks. I think the dog will enjoy Pop Rocks.
Snickers loves Pop Rocks.
Yeah, it was baby. It was baby puppy.
Baby puppy?
Well, it was baby, because we had big puppy. Again, I'm 5. I think we had big puppy and baby puppy. Just great with names. Baby puppy was not a baby anymore, but a beagle probably at the time. I don't know, 4 or 5, like me. I gave baby puppy Pop Rocks. The facial expression was pretty classic.
The way that you're able to say baby puppy Pop Rocks was incredible.
Without tripping. But I always thought, and I don't know if you had a thought, like when you're from a young kid to maybe now close to a teenager, thinking at some point you're going to be a grown up. Like, what made you feel like, man, I'm a grown up, or I've arrived as a grown up? I always thought, at some point, and if I had my own dog, like besides like the family having a dog, like that's the time. And here I am, well past, maybe I haven't grown up, but I've never.
You don't want to grow up.
I don't want to grow up at all. The other one I always thought, for some random reason, and maybe it was more as like when you own a house, like, when you've arrived when you've owned a house, is if you have a hammock. I always thought that would be such a big deal. Have you ever been in a hammock or had a hammock?
I've never had a hammock. I've been in a hammock.
And they're okay.
I don't think like they're relaxing at all.
You know what? You're probably right. But I always thought,
because you try
and
get in, you're like,
yeah, it's like I just, for some reason, like, okay, some people picture a house and it's whatever, a gated fence or some sort of cool, like a 2-story, whatever it is in your mind. I just thought, yeah, in the backyard, I'm gonna have a hammock.
Like the dad in the comics was always in a hammock.
Yeah, like just laying down, and that's what I thought. Like, that's what I'll be at some point. And then we got a hammock at one point, but it was one of those that it's probably more reliable, that had a base to it, not like that you hang from a tree. And it's like, it was fine. And I think we had it in our backyard. And like when my nieces and nephews would come over, they'd more play in it and like, this is fun. And then they'd be tired of it. But yeah, it's come and gone. We didn't really use the hammock. But I just picture like, I'm going to be out there after I mow the lawn, have a beer, and then just lay in the hammock. It's like, no, I don't really do any of those things.
Was your lawnmower the push one?
I'm sure it was
the
in my
manual
dream.
push one.
Yeah. So did you have anything like that? The other part was like and maybe a dog by my side, and I guess the hammock.
Would you have a
part,
den?
Yeah, whatever that meant. Like I'd go in there and work on plans, whatever I was doing. Yeah, I mean, I was probably, a lot of stuff is from like 70s and 80s television shows, is what I thought my life would end up being like, which it's really none of that is. But did you have anything that is like, this is going to establish me being an adult or on my own or whatever, whatever that thought was in your head?
Huh. I guess paying taxes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, wow, this is real.
Yeah, I guess we have to do that. No one's going to do this for me.
Oh,
huh?
and how amazing is that? Just like, hey, you figure it out, and if you're wrong, we're going to make you pay for it.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
Oh, we know what you owe.
Yeah.
So you better give it to us, or you're going to pay even more.
Do you do your own taxes?
I mean, technically,
Yeah.
I guess I just do
The form, like through the programs. Or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. Which basically we have a friend that has done that for years for us. And I always felt like it was this, oh my gosh, that looks so convoluted. He's like, it's not. It's really not.
Wait, you give someone like your stuff and they do it on their TurboTax or whatever?
I
their
think
software
it's
is?
basically, we have a friend who's like basically like not a financial planner, but he's a business, like that's his deal. Like he's in business, right? And does
Good
numbers.
business.
Exactly. And I think when he had already been doing that like for a bunch of my friends or like a circle of friends. And it's like everybody's just kind of had him do it. And it's like, I don't know. I think it's something he doesn't mind, enjoys, and just has always done. So, yeah, I guess short answer is yes. I'm sure that's all he does is plug it in, and something I easily could do. But once you've established it for years, it's like, yeah, just give our guy our taxes. Is that weird?
No. No.
So maybe I haven't fully arrived. See, you've grown up in that way.
Yeah. But I never had like the visor on with the calculator and the thing that
I like to visualize that he does, but I don't know. Isn't that weird? Like some of the images that we have that we're like, well, that's how you have to do it.
Yeah.
That's how you have to do it.
What was I'm trying to remember. I really thought like growing up, you would need to have all of your receipts for everything because you had to say what was deductible and what was non-deductible. And I'm like, because every like cartoon you'd watch, like there'd be the dad freaking out. It's like, oh, is this deductible? Is this? And then I'm
I
like,
lost it.
Oh, wait, that doesn't matter.
Yeah. But there's some people that do that. I remember, I mean, I would say famous for that. Only to me it was when Katie was working here a lot and doing radio and different things. And she would have receipts upon receipts. And she's like, it's tax time. And she does her own. And she would keep track of a lot of that stuff. And I went, that looks, pardon the pun, taxing. I mean,
well, like a lot of the stuff she is doing was like for like every time you're out on the road,
right?
Or
and that's convoluted.
Yeah.
It's like now what they have to do is they have every state they go to. I think they have to pay different. I mean, I don't know how you figure that out. That's where I feel like, I definitely need a tax person. Yeah, I guess it's that time where we're starting to get the.
We've got one buddy that does that.
Forms. Yeah.
So it's basically like from now until April, he can't hang out.
Man. Is that like I wonder obviously if they're doing it, they probably enjoy the job enough, but that's a really pretty strict schedule. Like around April, it's just mayhem for them, huh?
So one time it was opening day of March Madness. For some day I had it off. I was probably working like 3 weeks in a row or something. They said, Chris, you have to take a day off. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to go to the Limelight and just sit there for the entire day and watch the basketball games. I had friends come in and out and stuff like that, but I was there the whole day. I show up there 9 a.m. These 3 guys are there and they are just pounding drinks. And then they have breakfast and then they are just pounding even more drinks. And then they stumble out. And like, I didn't think anything of it. And this guy says, the bartender there goes, hey, you know what they do? I'm like, no. And he goes, they're tax preparers. I was like, what?
Wow.
He goes, yeah, they're going to work right now. I'm like, no. I'm like, you're lying. He's like, I swear, man. He's like, they do like taxes for whatever. And I'm just like, oh my. And it's like March. This is like late tax season.
This is their groove time.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my goodness. Maybe that's the only way you get through it.
Yeah. Got to find a way. Find a way to get through it. We're going to find a way to get through this show. Actually, we got a lot to get through and a lot to cover because there has been breaking news. There's news from yesterday. All since we signed off yesterday, we'll take you all the way till 10. We'll have Styles and Watkins to wrap things up at the end of the show and some celebrity birthdays as well. So let's do it. Let's lead off. We'll do that next.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
Let's do it. Leading off, the 3 top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number 1.
Sabonis from Barnes drives inside, hammers it down. You talk about a statement whip with the left hand by Sabonis against Nick Richards. He planted that one on the 7-footer right on his noggin. It's 88-71.
On the noggin, on his head. Nicely done, Domantas Sabonis. Nicely done, Sacramento Kings. Kings established the lead in the first quarter, added on it in the second quarter. Wasn't the best third quarter, but they still added to their lead, and 10 better than the Hornets, and they cruised to victory. That's the way it's supposed to be done. I think this is one of those games that as the year goes along and you count them all up, I don't know that there'll be a lot of amazing memories from this game, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be eventful. It doesn't have to be, hey, what a great comeback or what a disappointing loss. You know, sometimes they can blend together, and it's a much-needed win against the Charlotte Hornets.
This felt like the first time, because, like, on paper, they should just go in there,
yeah,
take care of business, walk out with the win. This felt like the first time on paper they walked in, took care of business, and got the win.
Yeah, and, you know, by definition, I guess they did that in the end result in Detroit, but the beginning was hideous, and you're just going, why did you have to get down 20 points to the Pistons to rally to win by 21? I mean, great, you did all that. But yesterday, they were able to. Sabonis and Keegan Murray didn't even play in the fourth quarter. That's perfect. They don't play tonight, and that's okay. Give them some rest, get to Philly, take on a team. Oh, by the way, Philly, you haven't defeated in 9 straight times. Milwaukee, who you play on Sunday, Giannis was in year 2. When you beat them last. 14 straight losses to the Milwaukee Bucks. And then Tuesday, you close out the trip with the Phoenix Suns. So it obviously ramps up, but with the win, 23-14. That's a season high, 9 games above 500. And again, a topsy-turvy season. They're 9 games above 500. Kevin Huerter got hurt in the game. That was unfortunate. We don't know the severity of that. But I think between Keegan, Sabonis, Fox, Monk, you got 4 players playing at a really good level. And I was saying this yesterday when Katie joined us. I really feel like we're on that, you know, at some point, De'Aaron Fox, if you track his career, you know, we saw things in his rookie year like, yeah, he's going to be nice. He wasn't on the all-rookie team. He was good, but you're like, all right, you could see it. His speed, like, man, imagine Fox getting an improved jump shot and just more seasoning. He's going to be a good player. And then he started to turn into a good player. Then he started to turn into a consistently great player. And Keegan is starting to get to that consistency part that we're all searching for. I'm not expecting the 32 that he had the other day or the 25, the point being aggressive, being a presence, being someone you can count on. That's starting to happen. And so, you know, it doesn't happen overnight. He might slip up here, but it's just, can you start to put together 2, 3, 4, a week, a month of games where you're going, man, this guy is playing at a really high level, and Keegan's starting to do that. And that is really good for the team now. 21-2 when Keegan scores 20 or more. All right, let's get to cut number 2.
Cut number 2.
Following our season-ending meetings with ownership, it's clear, and for a variety of reasons, we have mutually agreed to set a new course for the club, to take on new leadership.
Did you? Mutually? I don't think Pete Carroll wanted to be done as a coach. I don't think.
You either decide to leave or we will make you leave.
Yeah, and so we can make this, nice and look good, and I mean, I think coaches know what to say at the right time. And, you know, by all accounts, Seattle would like to maybe keep him around in some sort of front office role, if need be. The question is, does Pete Carroll want to coach again? And when you think about Pete Carroll, what people have said about him, he's the most vibrant, is he 72-year-old? Good energy, whether you like him or not as a coach. I can tell. I can hear Niner fans going, "Good riddance. Never liked that guy." But you have to respect what he did, what his success rate was at college, certainly, and in Seattle. He helped build that program, helped build the Seahawks. But it's a new era for them, and really over the last 24 hours, I think about, everybody's kind of labeling the last 24 hours as Pete Carroll, Nick Saban, and then, of course, Bill Belichick this morning. But you can even back it up to another great coach in Eric Spoelstra, but he's staying. We talked about his extension yesterday. And so when you've got a great coach, I think organizations recognize that, and you got to grow that coach and pay them handsomely and win with them. But we got to a point in Seattle where they felt it would be better off changing direction. In New England, they know what Bill Belichick did. The only one that's different is Nick Saban. That one truly sounds like that was his decision to retire. But we'll talk more about Pete Carroll, certainly the impact it has on the NFC West and the 49ers, but that does feel like a little bit part of that rivalry for Niner fans certainly is gone, right? I mean, to me, when I think about Seattle and San Francisco, I really do think about Harbaugh and Pete Carroll. Well, Harbaugh's been gone, but Pete Carroll was the hangover piece. Not anymore, as Pete Carroll is out in Seattle. All right, let's get to cut number 3.
Cut number 3.
Well, Paul, it is for college football, it's one of those days I think we'll probably all remember. The greatest run, certainly, in modern football history over. Nick Saban retiring, telling his team today, this is something he's done the last few years, as I think after the season, he and his wife, Terry, have gotten away and assessed where they are with their lives, where Nick is with his career. This was not something that he did for the first time this year. And, soon after they got back from the Rose Bowl, they went down to their place in Florida, talked about it, came back, thought about it. I don't think anybody knew, excuse me, I don't think anybody really knew what was going to happen. I mean, you talk to people at Alabama the last few days, it's been business as usual. But Nick is old school, as you well know, and the first people he wanted to know were his players. And he talked to his players, he told them. And I think it's, again, something that a lot of people around that program thought there might be a chance of it happening, but I don't think anybody saw it coming in the last couple of days.
So that is a word on Nick Saban stepping down at the University of Alabama, college football's greatest coach, one of the greatest coaches. We have NFL's greatest coach, one of their greatest coaches, however you want to label them, out at their specific jobs. And there'll be a press conference later today. We'll hear more audio, more riveting audio, I'm sure, from Bill Belichick probably tomorrow. But Nick Saban, I had heard a little bit of whether it's rumblings, but at some point I think there was some talk that Nick Saban, I remember hearing this maybe a month or two ago, would maybe be a potential guy to watch in the future of ESPN's Game Day, College Game Day. And he's ended up on that show a couple times. And actually, I thought he's been really good when he's been on the set of some of these TV shows or as an analyst. And you get a perception of him. You see him on the sideline. You see the guy that seems to be pretty intense and demand excellence, which, look, it's netted incredible results. They had their chances to beat Michigan this year, and maybe all along it was, hey, let's go out with a title. Ultimately, they lost in the semis, but his success is incredible. And for Nick Saban to take the time, as that report said there, to think about it, that sounds like a guy who's done coaching. Now, Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick, I got a hunch they still would like to coach. It's will there be offers for those guys? But Nick Saban, and when you're a college coach, that's the one that I think you have way more control than you do in the NFL. And a lot of times the program is that head person where it's, I'm going to Alabama, yes, but I'm going to play for Nick Saban. Nick Saban built that program. He wasn't the first one. Alabama's had a storied program, but there were times where they were down. And he goes there and he made them better. He made them the best program in college football. And so I know when you get to the championships and the number one, and there's obviously great coaching, but just name power and recognition. And a lot of people would just go to, they go to Notre Dame because of the school, but who's coaching there. And people go to Duke because of Coach K when he was there. and Syracuse for Boeheim and college coaches, whatever it might be. A lot of times these coaches have the bigger impact than almost the name of the school, which is really amazing. And Nick Saban, credit to him for building that and just a truly incredible run at the University of Alabama. All right, we will break. When we come back, we will dive our first time into the Kings win over the Hornets. It was, like Chris said, kind of one of the few times or first times this year where it's, look, they're the better team, take care of business. It wasn't stressful. They cruised into the finish line, and it was nice to see that happen. The leadership group of the team said they owed the Hornets one. Well, they backed it up. They got it done. They got the win. We'll talk about it when we come back here on Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division title, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, a breakaway. He stopped the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And if you've even thought of replacing your old, outdated, inefficient windows, now is the time to take action.
Right now at Bell Brothers, when you buy one window, you'll get the second one for 30% off. That's right. Buy one, get the second one 30% off.
That's real savings, up to $6,000. You have to buy at least 4 windows to qualify, and you can't mix windows and doors. But beyond that, every second window is 30% off.
For example, when you buy 10 windows, you will get 5 windows at 30% off. We also have 0% interest financing available for qualified buyers. Call for details.
To take advantage of our buy one, get one 30% off sale, call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters. And that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. CordellCordell.com.
Hey, did you guys know? Did you guys know the average person eats 9 spiders whenever I cook for them?
From his multiple Netflix comedy specials, Anthony Jeselnik brings his new stand-up tour, Bones and All, to Hard Rock Live Sacramento. Don't miss Anthony Jeselnik, live this Friday. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com and AnthonyJeselnik.com.
With RT Painting, our name says it all. We are a reliable and trusted commercial and residential painting company, serving the Sacramento area since 1998. Employee-owned, our attention to detail is second to none. Put our decades of experience serving our community to use for you. Get a free quote today. Call us at 916-900-8112. That's 916-900-8112. Or go online to rtpainting.com. That's rtpainting.com. RT Painting, your trusted and reliable painting contractor of choice.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, You probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Start your 2024 grilling season right with a new lifetime warranty Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. The Napoleon P500 series gas grill will turn you into a grilling pro. Napoleon Prestige grills, versatile grilling for every occasion. Form, function, and luxury can come in the same package. Just go to your local Green Acres Nursery and Supply for the best selection today, or visit Napoleon.com for a dealer near you.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sactown Sports.
Ball in the hands now. Oh, it was in the hands of the Hornets. Stolen by Fox. Breakaway to the basket and a quick score by De'Aaron Fox. It was a low-scoring third quarter. Kings outscored their opponent 24-21. 18 of the Kings' 24 points in that quarter came in the paint.
Yeah, Sacramento dominant, season high now, 23-14. That's 9 games above 500. Last year at this time, 20-17. So, and on their way to 20-18, by the way, before they won 6 in a row. So this is about the stretch of where the Sacramento Kings turned into that lovable, fun, exciting team, number 1 offense a year ago, on their way to the postseason, on their way to a 3 seed, on their way to awards everywhere. Coach of the year, GM of the year, 2 All-Stars, 2 All-NBA performers, and a really fun squad. This year, they're ahead of that pace. I think they've frustrated themselves, the fan base, as much as we've seen, certainly in a long time, in a while. I mean, when they were, it's a different kind of frustration, right? When they were losing, you just were upset, like, man, can't wait for the day when they're good. Well, now we've only seen 1 year of success, and we're building on seeing this team do it a second straight year, but it's done differently, and each year is different, even if you have a lot of the same players, and they do. I think what we're seeing is a roster that has some players that have made a jump and some players that have having down years. And I talked about it a bit yesterday, where my own personal belief, I know that, like when we talked to Katie, she really praised Coach Brown for the open communication, letting players, and I think that's there. I'm not questioning that, of shuffling guys in and around the lineup, whether that's at the 2 position, which has really been Herter and Duarte, or just in the rotation. We've seen from Keon Ellis to Davion to now Juan Toscano-Anderson, Sasha, different people kind of get shuffled in and out. And if the communication is letting them know their roles, that's great. But I got to believe it's difficult when you're consistently not getting the production that you want from those guys, but also not knowing when you're going to play, how much you're going to play. You can never know exactly, but if you know you're always, and you're a bench player, if you always know that you're going to the game, on your way to the game, on the bus, on a flight, at your hotel, at home, knowing that I'm going to play tonight, so I've got to be ready. That's different than, am I going to play tonight? I might, I think. Wait, I'm starting? Or I'm playing 25 minutes? Oh, I'm playing 2 minutes? I think that's different. I think that's harder on a player. But if the communication's open, that's good. But I think that's part of the reason they're not getting consistency. But part of the reason they're not getting consistency, too, is on the players that actually do play. And when they get an opportunity, I mean, Barnes is down from his level, and Herter certainly has been down from his level as we go down the line. But what you are getting is a consistent Sabonis, a consistent De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, I would say now Keegan Murray, and Trey Lyles. That 5 has been pretty rock solid. Last night, they were able to cruise to victory, get the lead, establish it. Charlotte was undermanned. You took their will away. It's a team that's not playing that well, but that's what you do. They beat you 8 days ago, and you took care of business comfortably. And they were able to get a lot of people in. We saw the center position get Sabonis 24, 10, and 7. JaVale McGee, in about 4.5 minutes, had 8 points and 7 boards late in the game. And I thought Alex Len was really good in his 15 minutes. He had 8 points, 10 rebounds, and assist, a great block in the game. And after the game, he was the radio post-game guest with the G-Man.
And we'll look to see who we get a chance to talk to. Alex Len, it appears, who's back to us, is slipping on a headset. Alex, G-Man here. You got us okay?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Well, it's always good when you win on the road. It's always better when you win on the second night of a back-to-back. Tell us how this one felt to you and your teammates as it unraveled tonight.
It felt great. It was just, I think it's our first back-to-back wins of the season, so we had a big emphasis on it. We were trying to get 2 in a row because we had a lot of splits during the season. It was important for us to win 2 in a row, just to see that we can do it.
Well, we love the fact that in a very limited number of minutes, you ended up playing 15 minutes tonight. Not only 8 points, but 10 rebounds. You were flirting with a double-double.
I know, try to play hard. I knew that, Domas and those guys played big minutes yesterday. I had to come in, bring up the bench, bring energy, just play as hard as I can, just give them some rest. So it was good that we was able to, close the game out at the beginning of the fourth quarter so those guys can get some rest.
Some of the veterans were rather outspoken, I understand, from some of the members of the coaching staff a week ago in Sacramento when the Charlotte team surprised and stunned the Sacramento Kings. What was the feeling among teammates in trying to make sure that that didn't happen again tonight?
We were just, we were trying to come out, play as hard as I can. We know we have a better team, so we just had to come out and prove it. Everybody came out ready from the beginning. We play hard, we play for each other, and it showed.
Well, are you ready for a day off tomorrow in Philadelphia?
Yes, sir. Big time. I got some family about to go see my sister and my niece and nephew, so excited for that.
Well, that's very exciting. Congratulations, and enjoy that day tomorrow. And then we'll see you against the Sixers on Friday night.
Yes, sir. Thanks, man. Have a good one, guys.
All right. Appreciate the time.
All right, a few moments there of the Alex Len with the G-Man, and you get a little insight into what the team was thinking. Look, they are checking a few more boxes of things that they had missed on earlier this year. Not long ago, remember the thought of, and the narrative was that the Sacramento Kings had not won on the second night of a back-to-back. They did that. It was unfortunately after that awful loss to Charlotte. So the next night they hosted Orlando, went double overtime, but got the win. Something else they hadn't been able to do is win both legs of the back-to-back. Now, I think the argument could be made, and I think it's a pretty easy one to make. You probably can't get an easier opponent back-to-back. Now, it's still on the road, but beating Detroit and beating Charlotte, but still, they did it. And I don't think you should be penalized for that, even if it's quote-unquote deemed easy or easier. We saw the Kings lose to Charlotte before. We saw the Kings give up 47 in the first quarter to Detroit, but still win. So I think they all add up. They're all important. And I think, this team is still a work in progress, though we felt like they were more refined and ready to go based on what they did a year ago. And I thought they could take off and really soar for the beginning of the season, but that hasn't been the case. And figuring out ways to maximize the roster that they do have. So, we still have to pretend there's a reality here, or picture a reality where they don't make a trade. I think they will, but if you don't, and until they do, and if you don't do one, how can you get more out of the missing pieces from this lineup, which to me is Harrison Barnes and Kevin Huerter? I feel like, it was so unfortunate yesterday in the second start back in the starting lineup for Kevin Huerter, that how freak of an injury was that? Of the opening tip, steps on the foot of Keegan Murray, and then you could tell that bothered him. They gave up 2 points, had to foul the next time they had the ball, and then he went right to the locker room. We always say athletes know. He knew. He knew right away something was wrong. So Kevin Huerter hasn't played great this season, but, sometimes when you give a guy a second opportunity after putting him to the bench, he can find it. He can find his groove. And so now we got to wait on the injury status for Kevin Huerter. And for Harrison Barnes, The tweak to me could be putting Trey Lyles in the lineup. I've seen a lot of people suggest that. I mean, to me, if you're really going for it and you're Mike Brown and the coaching staff, like to me, if you really say, if you care about the starting lineup, and a lot of people do, you go Keegan Murray, Trey Lyles, Domantas Sabonis, Malik Monk, and De'Aaron Fox. That's the 5 best players on this team right now. Now, the argument, the counter to me, and one I was guilty of saying is, I don't think Harrison Barnes is a great bench player. I don't think you'd get much out of him. Well, you're not getting much out of him as a starter. Could you get more in less minutes? Possibly. Could you get more out of Herter as a spark off the bench? Possibly. It won't be greater than what you're getting in Malik Monk. Now, they finished with that lineup a lot, which is, to me, probably more important in the grand scheme of things. But some of these games that they're getting off to slow starts, could that help? Would that alleviate some things? Mike Brown's tried a lot of things. We haven't really seen him try that one yet. And I think he really likes Monk and Lyles for their production off the bench. I understand that. I do. But maybe at some point in this, as we approach halfway of the season to the second half of the season, he'll start to think about that as a possibility. We'll see. I'm sure it's been discussed. Let's put it that way. All right, so a win for the Kings. More on Sacramento coming up at 8 o'clock. Our weekly visit with Sam Amick. Always look forward to those chats. When we come back, though, so much coaching news. Man, just a monumental 24 hours as far as Pete Carroll, Nick Saban, and now Bill Belichick. We'll discuss their greatness and what's next for all of them and their squads. We'll do that when we come back on Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division title, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Have you ever envisioned having $500,000 in advertising to conquer the remodel market, but felt overwhelmed at the thought of going it alone? Now you don't have to. Join Subcontractors United and share your advertising with 2 other contractors in your trade. Get $500,000 in advertising for only $1,042 a month. We are so sure this will work that we're giving away free advertising until June 2024 to qualified contractors. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with 0 down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at folsomlakeford.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com. 0
down with approved credit.
California's largest sportsman's expo is back, January 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Bring the family and discover your next adventure. Buy the latest gear, find the best destinations, learn from the experts in fishing and hunting. On the weekend, visit the Giant Youth Fair. Free entry for youth 15 and under. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 18th through 21st at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
Only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and local.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
It's been an honor and a thrill to be part of this program, and I've loved every minute of it. And you've watched me love it. It's exciting that there's such a future here, and you can see it, and we know what's happening, and it's bright, and the club's got great places to go, and there's great chances. It don't ever happen automatically. There's a lot of work to be done and all of that, but the future is bright.
An emotional Pete Carroll yesterday. As they said, a mutual parting of ways. That's also kind of the wording you're getting from New England as the breaking news overnight, or basically early this morning out here in the West Coast. Out there in the East Coast, there's going to be a press conference later today. Bill Belichick done in New England. Pete Carroll out in Seattle. Nick Saban retiring. Man, just a whirlwind of news over the last 24 hours regarding some coaching legends. And let's hear a little bit more of Pete Carroll, because the thought is there's a new role for him in the front office. Now, again, I don't know that this was his choice. I would say it's not his choice, but let's hear a little bit more from Pete Carroll.
I'm freaking jacked. I'm fired up. I'm not tired. I'm not worn down. You guys tried your best. You didn't wear me out. It's the end of the season. I'm supposed to be, go lay on a cot somewhere. I ain't feeling like that. What's coming? I don't know. I got no idea, and I really don't care right now. But I do. I'm excited about it.
All right, that's Pete Carroll. How about, Coach, the new potential role that you might have?
We're going to figure that out. We don't really know right now, but I'm grateful for the intention that that the organization has to try to find something that makes sense. So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, that's not a plan, right? That's a guy that still wants to coach. And I mean, again, you can hear it in him. You can hear it in his energy and his voice. He said he's always been deemed as an older coach by definition of age, and he addressed that.
This isn't about me being the head coach. It's about this organization being successful and being on course for the long haul of it as well. And I realize that. I mean, I'm about as old as you can get in this business, and there's coming a time they got to make some decisions. And so moving towards the future, if there's some way that I can add something to them down the road, we'll see what happens. But this is a good move for them, and Johnny's going to take this thing, take the bull by the horns and roll. And I'm so thankful that I get to see him take that next step and watch what he does with. He's going to kick butt.
All right, one more here from Pete Carroll.
I competed pretty hard to be the coach, just so you know, because I just wanted to make sure that I stood up for all of our coaches and the players and the things that we'd accomplished, not so that we could be the coach still, but so that we could continue to have a chance to be successful and keep the organization going. That's what I was fighting for. So I in that regard, that was what I was representing in our discussions. And we got to a good part, good clean spot where it made sense, and I went along with their intentions.
Yeah, and so, this does happen. People get removed and stay within an organization, but I think if there's still a desire to coach, if there's still a want from another team to bring in Pete Carroll, I would see him going to another squad. I think there's going to be a real strong possibility that Bill Belichick will be coveted. He has been, the question's going to go, is he successful only because of Tom Brady? I don't think it's that simple. We could look at the equation and say the second Tom Brady left, Bill Belichick's record dropped. Yeah, it did. But we're also talking about the greatest quarterback of all time. Now, is he the greatest quarterback of all time on his own merits? Some of it. There's some good coaching in there, too. I don't think it has to be mutually exclusive and say Brady gave all of Belichick his honors or Belichick made Tom Brady. They did this together. It's always a team. You get the success as a team. And more than anything in history, if you look at it, the coaches that are up at the top in any category, the all-time winningest managers, the all-time winningest NBA coaches, all-time winningest college football or basketball coaches or NFL coaches, they generally have great talent. That's how it works. But they coach the great talent. They recruit the great talent. They've produced them and helped grow the great talent. And I know that statement's been out there. Oh, I could coach that team because, look, they've got 5 Hall of Famers. We've seen teams turn into a bust that are just stacked with talent. Coaches still play their part. Players do their part. It's an equal award acknowledgement situation to me in this case. But to see those guys all go at kind of the same time, it's really kind of remarkable, and in different ways. Like the rumors about Bill Belichick have been out there for a while. And basically, if you watched any part of the Jets-Patriots game on Sunday, especially the second half, it's just anytime they did something, it makes you wonder if this is the last time we're going to see Bill Belichick, if that's the last time his offense is on the field, is that the last time his defense is on the field? Stuff like that was said, and understandably so, and here we are. He is going to be done in New England. Pete Carroll came as a little bit of a surprise, maybe a big surprise for a lot of people. And then the Nick Saban retirement, I think, had been mentioned a little bit, but still was more stunning than anything. Because to me, he, of the three, has a team that made the semifinals, will be one of the favorites next year as that recruiting pipeline that he has helped build continues. And so he's one that would be stepping down closer to the top of his game. For Bill Belichick, he is still short of the all-time win record in NFL history, and it's within striking distance. Is that a desire for him? He said the other day in the audio we played that he still loves coaching, still loves scheming, game planning, trying to figure out what to take away from another team. He loves the grind of that. Some people get exhausted of the grind. I wonder if Nick Saban reached a point where this is the time of year when the season just ended and recruiting's kind of done. You're building game plans for next year. And, there's as much work done, if not more, off season than regular season. Coaches talk a lot about, especially in college, and guys that have been around at Sac State, it's like the season, I don't want to say is easier. It's not the right way, but there's a nice rhythm to it where it's, film, weight training, practice, game prep, travel, boom, you just kind of go on. Off season, there's so much to do, so much player management, thinking about recruiting, other stuff you have to worry about amongst the university. The season, you kind of get locked in and focused for about a 12 to 13 week stretch. And that becomes the part that gets so much attention that fans and everyone else looks at while they're working at it all year long. So to me, Saban probably got to that point where he knows if he came back next year, they'd be one of the favorites. They could win the whole thing. They could lose early. They could have frustration. I mean, he's had every kind of season, but he's probably said, like, I've done this enough. It's enough. It's my turn is come and gone. I appreciate what I've done in my different stops at Michigan State, Miami, Miami Dolphins, LSU, Alabama. I'm good at my job. I know it. I don't need any more accolades than I've got, and it's run its course. Whereas you have Belichick and Pete Carroll that are in a different spot. They're a program. I say program. It's more like college, but a team, an organization is done with them. That's a tough one to take. And again, it's not technically, by the semantics, a firing for either of those guys, but they're not coming back. And yeah, they could come up with a front office position for either one. And sure, they could choose to take that. You're as good as your options. If you don't have other options, maybe you take that if you want to stay in football. If not, you get out of there. And, look here, Sacramento Kings. Alvin Gentry was the head coach. They parted ways with Alvin Gentry. He's still around. He's still with the organization. See him at games. He's a basketball lifer, wants to stay around basketball. In all candor, I don't know the entirety of what he does, but that doesn't mean he's not doing work for the organization. He's got a job. He's there. He shows up. Good for him. He wants to be around the locker room, the fellas, the front office. He's there. Some people I'm assuming Saban, he's like, I'm going to be done with Alabama, not in a negative way, but it's run its course. And maybe I go into TV. Maybe you see me around. Maybe you see me as a pitch man still, or I will truly retire. I don't know how he's going to approach that. So they've earned their accolades. And a lot of times I feel like, and I'd be curious for those of you on the text line at 916-339-1140 or on our YouTube. And again, good support there today, which we appreciate. Any of these three guys give you a reaction of negativity. And maybe if you're a Niner fan, I don't like Pete Carroll. Or there's plenty of people that, man, I'm sick of the Patriots when they were always going to the Super Bowl. I don't like Bill Belichick, Deflategate, whatever it might be. I'm sick of him. And maybe the same for Saban. It's always Alabama. But today's the day I feel like, oh, man, but they're leaving? We had that here with Kobe Bryant when Kobe Bryant was, oh, man, I hate the Lakers. I hate Kobe. I want to beat Kobe all the time. And then I remember his final game here, and it's like he was getting standing ovation. He was getting the love. It's like, well, yeah, I don't like you, but I don't want you to go. I want to be able to root against you. I'll miss that. And maybe you guys will miss that and appreciate these guys now that they're done. Pete Carroll, Nick Saban, and Bill Belichick. All right. Busy night in the NBA. That included a Sacramento Kings win. But, man, stuff around the league. We'll go around the NBA as well. Besides the Kings, we'll do that to start the next hour. Also in the next hour, sports business with Kelly Brothers. And lead you up to 8 o'clock with Sam Amick. Jam-packed Thursday show here on Sactown Sports.
I'm freaking jacked.
The 49ers earned the NFC's top seed.
On the first play of the game, CMC Dynamite!
Join all of our shows. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Styles, and Watkins. And the Drive Guys as they follow their quest for a 6th Super Bowl title.
Pressured right away by Young and sacked by Eric Armstead.
Sacktown Sports is your home for San Francisco 49ers football.
San Francisco!
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85 or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
I'm Craig Ashton of the Injury Law Firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real live person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
The 49ers Report, brought to you by EB Stone. EB Stone, for the life of your garden. The Red and Gold's 2023 regular season campaign ended with a loss in Week 18, falling to their rivals from the South 21-20. Backup quarterback Sam Darnold played the entire contest, having a good first half with 2 total touchdowns and 169 passing yards. The second half is where things fell apart, allowing 14 unanswered points by the visitors. San Francisco now ends the regular season at 12-5, elated to have a first-round bye in the postseason.
Welcome the new year with EB Stone, your go-to for indoor gardening success. In 2024, enrich your indoor oasis with EB Stone's Indoor Potting Mix, our best premium blend crafted for vibrant growth. Explore our comprehensive range from soil amendments to fertilizers and find everything your indoor garden craves. Nurture new beginnings, cultivate lush landscapes, and witness your dreams unfold. Cheers to a green and thriving new year with EB Stone, the heartbeat of your indoor garden success. Find a location near you for our products and tips at ebstone.org.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
The 2024 Honda Civic LX sedan from Elk Grove Honda offers all the safety, reliability, performance, and great gas mileage you've come to expect from Honda for all these years. With anti-lock brakes, tire pressure monitoring system, backup camera, and Honda safety sensing package including collision mitigation braking system, you can see why a sporty, redesigned Civic from Elk Grove Honda gives you a lot for your money. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom,
with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
Drives into traffic, feeds to a wide open Keon in the right corner, and Keon Ellis delivers from downtown.
Keon Ellis and the rest of the Sacramento Kings prevailed yesterday in Charlotte in front of a robust 14,173. Kings win 123-98. They're now 23-14. That's a season best, 9 games above 500. We'll talk more about the Kings coming up. Yesterday, an interesting day around the NBA as we welcome into hour number 2 of the show. Carmichael Dave back with us next week on Tuesday when we return after the holiday. Martin Luther King. Oh, that's right. That's right. So for those of you that have an extended weekend, good for you. The Kings, though, got it done, but they, I always do a little scoreboard watching. I like to follow what's going on in the league, and I don't think it's too early. I do it. I look at the standings pretty much nightly and kind of go, all right, well, they're playing. It probably would be better for the Kings if this team lost, and maybe if that team could get a win, that puts them further down the standings. So I'm always doing that. And last night we had, as far as games go, the two best records in the NBA battled. Boston was at home, taking on Minnesota. Minnesota beat Boston earlier this year in Minnesota. I felt like that was kind of their first really big win and has propelled them to the start of the season that they've had. So they went into Boston. Boston going into the game 17-0 at home. So the Celtics hadn't lost to anybody. They almost lost to Detroit, as you guys know, and we talked about that. But this was a thrilling game, and it would go overtime, and Jason Tatum would get it done.
Celtics have numbers in a 2-point lead. Holiday, offensive end, kick out, Tatum, open three, got it!
Oh, my God, my heart is about to explode. Oh, these Celtics, they going crazy.
I'm freaking jacked.
Yeah. Cedric Maxwell is jacked. Sean Grandy on the call as well there from the Celtics Radio Network. Great game. Boston wins in OT. So they continue to stay perfect at home. They give the T-Wolves their 11th loss. Oh, by the way, another good game had Oklahoma City going to Miami and defeating the Heat. Good team. OKC now 25-11. So the top seed, still the Timberwolves. Thunder right behind them, a half game back at 25-11. Also last night, as we continue to go around the NBA. So we had the two best teams playing. What about the two worst teams? San Antonio was playing the Detroit Pistons. And I was wrong on this one because I thought, you know what? I think the Pistons might get the Spurs. I think this might happen. But we had something of significance happen in the game for the Spurs, who won this one with ease.
Ivy's got 11. McDermott puts up the three. Got it!
Feeling it.
Triple-double for Victor Wembanyama as Doug McDermott cans his third three in the quarter. The Spurs bench going nuts as Victor Wembanyama has his first career triple-double. And Victor Wembanyama comes off after his first career triple-double, 16 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists, and does it in 20 minutes here tonight.
Come on, in 20 minutes. Victor Wembanyama, a triple-double in 20 minutes.
Incredible.
I agree. So you had that last night around the NBA. The Kings' next opponent, the Philadelphia 76ers, they were taking on Atlanta. This game, too, would go overtime, and the Hawks would find a way.
Trey goes right side to DeJounte. DeJounte back out to Jalen Johnson, a three. Bang! JJ with the three, and the Hawks lead 135-132.
Now, granted, Joel Embiid didn't play. Not sure about his status for Friday, but hey, look, that's still a good win for the Hawks. They needed overtime, but they beat Philadelphia. So you got a Philly team that, as we said earlier, has defeated the Kings 9 straight times. They'll be upset going into that one. Now, we were all upset. Granted, we should have been when the Pelicans came here on Sunday. Kings had lost 3 straight times to them. Hadn't really been that competitive. So it's like, all right, here we go. How's Sacramento going to play? Well, the Pelicans built a 50-point lead on the Kings and won by 33. So what's the Pelicans' next game? Well, they're staying in Northern California. They got the Warriors last night, and ooh, did this one get ugly.
Zion up top. Get it to Dyson. There's the drop. Bear floater just below the dotted line and down.
Yeah, and the Pelicans ended up routing the Golden State Warriors. So this is a team to watch right now to me. The Pelicans are 141-105 winners over the Golden State Warriors. We told you earlier the Kings are now a season high, 9 games above .500. The Warriors dropped with the loss to 17-20. 3 games below 3 games below 500. They are currently 12th in the West. And yeah, Draymond's back. He was on the sideline, didn't play yesterday, but he'll be back soon. But what's their fix? Is it just more time? Get everybody together? Maybe they rally some wins. And for them, they probably think, just like a lot of teams, just get in the top 7 so they could be in the play-in opportunity, and then they could work their way in. The difference between them and the 6th seed, which is the playoff spot, right now is 5.5 games. That's the Pelicans currently in 6th, who beat them last night at 23-15. The Warriors 17-20. So, again, tough times for Golden State. Nobody's feeling sorry for them and the outlook that they have right now, but they've got a big hill to climb because another team passed them. And this, believe it or not, is the hottest team going in the West right now, and it's the Utah Jazz.
Hard drive with the left hand, lost the basketball, runs it back down, and now loses it. Clarkson has it. Another steal for the Jazz. Stanley's giving away money. Here's Clarkson. He's dancing. He's driving with the right hand. He gets in the lane. He scoops. He scores. Oh, Jordan Clarkson, don't do me like that. Well, it's a happy Jazz nation here. The Utah Jazz have won their 9th game in their last 11 and have somehow, some way, found a way to absolutely obliterate the Denver Nuggets tonight.
Yeah, they beat the champs. The Jazz now within 1 game of 500. They're 19-20. And that bottom of the West from about 8 to 12 is very vulnerable. Phoenix is 19-18. Lakers 19-19. Rockets 18-18. And now the Jazz at 19-20. We mentioned the Warriors back behind them at 17-20. So you had all of that going on yesterday, along with the news that broke yesterday that now seemingly is the smaller news based on all the football stuff that's happened. But the Los Angeles Clippers extended Kawhi Leonard. And I saw some people going, well, why would they do that? Why not? I mean, Kawhi Leonard is obviously one of the game's great players when he's healthy and playing right, and he's played more games this year than we've seen in a long time. They're going into a new building next year. They've kind of committed. They've gone all in on the Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, now Russell Westbrook, James Harden experience. And it's also netting them some pretty good results after a brutal start of that group. So what are your options? It's a lot like last year when the Dallas Mavericks added Kyrie Irving, and that, half of a season experiment didn't really work. And some people thought, well, Kyrie's going to be out. I said, no, you don't acquire a player like that to just kind of try a few months and then move on. You got to run it back and see a full season of the guys. And that's what Dallas did. And, they're seeing a team that got off to a pretty good start, now 3 games above 500. But you've got the asset, you've got the piece, and you want to keep your pieces together as long as you possibly can. And so I think it made sense for the Clippers. They haven't resulted in anything that they've really been chasing with the group, but you keep trying until it seems like it doesn't make sense to try anymore on this. And I still think it does for the Los Angeles Clippers. Like I said, going into a new building, kind of trying to create that separate identity from the Lakers next year. And they've won at a better clip than the Lakers this year. So congratulations to Kawhi on that contract extension. All right, we break. When we come back, it's 3 for Madness time. 3 questions, 3 answers, brought to you by our friends at Fire Wings. We do that next.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids. Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision?
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Jackson Hewitt has a plan to get your tax refund fast. With a buck here, buck there. Here a buck, there a buck, everywhere a buck.
You don't have to wait weeks for your tax refund. Get money sooner with a no-fee refund advance loan at Jackson Hewitt.
On this loan, there's a money today guarantee. E-I-E-I-DO.
Don't settle for chicken feed. Get fast bucks at Jackson Hewitt today. No-fee refund advance loans by Republic Bank offered to eligible clients. Money today guarantee if approved for a loan on a prepaid card. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
Coming up after 3 for Madness, brought to you by friends at Fire Wings. We will visit with Kelly Brothers, weekly segment, Sports Business. Always enjoy talking to Kelly each and every week. He joins us at the bottom of the hour. And again, Sam Amick coming up at 8. We still have Niners at 9. But it is time for 3 for Madness, 3 questions, 3 answers. Fire Wings brings you that. 21 delicious flavors of wings. Fire Wings, just wing it. Chris, what do you got?
With the Kings win in Detroit and Charlotte, how many more wins on this trip do the Kings need to get for this to be considered a successful road trip?
Well, in the end, 2-3 is not that bad on the road, but they've already got the 2. And so how many more wins? I always feel like context is important. Like, I think they can play well the rest of the trip and lose. That's the problem. The competition's better. They haven't won in Philly in 9 tries. They haven't won in Milwaukee in 14 attempts. They have beaten Phoenix a couple times this year. I would say to truly make it successful, you need 1 more. But again, I'm going to go to context of the way they played. Yesterday was better. Yesterday was a good, solid performance all the way through. Detroit was a win, and I would say about a 3/4 performance. So I'd like to see them play well, feel good about themselves, have more players on the list of players playing well. So that's why I feel context matters. And you could play well in Philly, play well in Milwaukee, really play well in Phoenix and lose. I think we could still feel okay about the team coming home 2-3 if they lost them all and played well. But okay is not what we're looking for. The team wants to be great. I would say all that to say at least 1 more would make me feel better for the Kings. But 2 would be great. Maybe 3. Get them all. Get all 5. Let's sweep. Let's get greedy. All right, question 2.
Question 2.
What was the more surprising news? Pete Carroll no longer the coach of the Seahawks? Nick Saban retiring from Alabama? Or Belichick parting ways with the Patriots?
Well, I would say Belichick is last because I think people were really starting to hear that, feel that, talk about that. So the biggest surprise to me, I still think is Nick Saban, but it's close with Pete Carroll because generally, what do they say about the NFL season? It ended last Sunday. Monday's firing day. Well, we got to late Wednesday, and that one there wasn't really any rumblings about Pete Carroll to my knowledge. So that was definitely a surprise. And then the Nick Saban one, I'll give him credit too because, they lost, what was that, New Year's Day, basically. And knowing that the national championship was going to be a week later, he could have, maybe he knew then, and he could have made an announcement, but he's like, you know what? I don't want to be, and I don't know this. I'm just speculating.
It makes sense.
Yeah, like, Michigan and Washington are about to play. I don't need to step
down.
He's
not going to A-Rod the national championship.
Because some people would. And maybe truly Nick Saban didn't know until then, but I think I think the second you start thinking about it, now the thought is, all right, am I going to be happier coaching or not coaching? And so I'll give him credit on that. If he knew for sure, then good for him because he let it breathe. He let his season end. He let the whole thing play out with Michigan winning their national championship and didn't do it the day after, gave them a little love. Let's let people reflect on Michigan and speculate on Harbaugh and all the things they were going to do. And then the other part, as we played that clip earlier, where Nick Saban, the one thing he wanted to do was talk with his wife, really think about it. They got away for a little bit, then came back, and then also talk to his players first. Because I think in this day and age, we're hearing too many stories. Chris, this happens a lot where people say, oh, well, I found out on social media. Or, someone else told me the news because, they read it on social media. And we know word gets out
Oh,
fast.
I'm not working on that show anymore. I just found that on the radio.
That's it? Yeah. So in this case, let me talk to the players. Let them hear it from me. And then word's going to get out. It ultimately did. But I would say it's those two. It's not Belichick. That wasn't surprising. But I'll be anxious to hear the press conference that they have coming out of New England a little bit later today. All right, let's get to question 3.
Question 3.
With Kawhi Leonard's 3-year, $152 million extension with the Clippers, and the team trying to make deals with Paul George and James Harden, are the Clippers the team to worry about in the West the next 3 years?
I wouldn't say the team, but a team, right? I think the West has been in this statement, and the team I used as an example this year when I was talking about when I think there was like kind of blanket statements and projections on the Sacramento Kings, and people go, "What do you think about the Kings this year? What do you think they're going to do off of last year's season?" And my thought was, honestly, I think if the Sacramento Kings have everything go right, everything, so people play above their level, stay healthy, they could finish 1. Things don't go right, they could finish 12 or 13. I feel like that's how good the West is. That's how close it is. When a lot of times we look at the Kings being like the 3 seed a year ago, oh, the Warriors were just the 6 seed. That's who they played. The separation wasn't like it was 10 games. It's all really, really close. But the team I used as an example was, like, if everything went right for the Utah Jazz, who kind of battled for the bottom, 9, 10, 11 position last year. If everything went right for the Utah Jazz, they could be the team that is in first. They could. Well, they're 19 and 20. They're hot right now. But I think a team that kind of lined up like that has been Minnesota. You could say OKC. I think people thought they'd be good. I didn't have them as the top team in the West, either one of them. So as a playoff team, certainly, or teams to compete for the playoffs. So now you're looking at the list like, all right, the T-Wolves are a team that looks really good, and I like what they're doing. Their defense, Anthony Edwards, so on and so forth. OKC, I think, is maybe in the best position with talent already, and I think they can move so many of these pieces if they choose to, along with future assets. If they do it right and it works, could be the most dangerous team in the entirety of the West. Denver has the best player, the most unstoppable player amongst the mix in Nikola Jokic. The Clippers have a stacked roster. The Kings are good. Pelicans are good. Dallas still has high-level talent. Phoenix has high-level talent. The Lakers have high-level talent. The Warriors have one of the game's greats of all time. So there's a lot of choices. And for that matter, Memphis, who I think is, obviously going to take a redirect this year, but get Ja healthy for the start of next year, have Steven Adams back, Brandon Clark, everybody else that's banged up, get a lottery pick and maybe make the right moves in the offseason, they could be a legitimate threat. How long until the Spurs get talent around Victor Wembanyama? So, yeah, the West is good. There's a lot of talent around the NBA. Not everybody can win. Not everybody can be near the top. But the Clippers have a group that's aging, though. At some point, probably in this 3-year run of the extension, and if they extend those other guys, they'll look like the team like, yeah, they've hit the wall. They fell off the cliff. They're not there now. I think they're all hungry. They're all chasing things. Now they're in different spots. I think you've got guys like James Harden and Paul George that are more desperate than a guy like Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi wants to win, but he's got a couple of rings in 2 different spots, and he'll look even better if he gets a 3rd title with a 3rd team like LeBron did. So it basically all of that shows you how good, how competitive the West is. And everybody kind of has a little bit of a different timeline. Some are aging out. I think Phoenix could be a team that's in trouble over time based on assets spent to get guys like Beal and Durant over time. The Lakers at some point, LeBron, he's not going to play forever. What's their next wave? It was supposed to be AD. I don't know that he's consistent enough to show that he's clearly the guy that could carry this franchise. And all the while the Spurs, Blazers, Rockets all kind of work on their teams to get better. So that's what everybody's going through, different phases. But I think the Clippers did what they had to do now. I think it makes a lot of sense, but I wouldn't say they're the team to watch out for, but one of the teams for sure. So there you go. That's 3 for Madness, 3 questions brought to you by our friends at Firewings. And really that's the game for GMs across the NBA and across the Western Conference. Where's your timeline? What's it make sense? How long do you take the patience route? How quickly do you go, man, this isn't working, we got to reboot? There's no exact answer. There's no right way to do it. It's the way you choose to do it, and does it pay off? And the guys that get it right more often stay in their jobs or keep in the NBA, and those that miss ultimately pay the price and lose their job. So, all right, still to come, more on this Kings win over the Hornets. We have some post-game reaction to that. We also will visit with Sam Amick, but when we come back, sports business. We talk with Kelly Brothers. He will join us when we come back.
The Philadelphia Eagles have limped into the postseason. Tampa Bay won their division on the final day of the regular season. These two collide on Monday to close out Super Wild Card Weekend. We have all the play-by-play action Monday at 4:30 of the Eagles and Buccaneers on Sactown Sports, your home for Super Bowl 58.
Carmichael Dave here to talk to you about my good friends at Fire Wings. There is no doubt they have the best wings in town. Try any of their 21 delicious flavors. Flavors like their award-winning peanut butter, Louisiana rub, Thai chili, and my favorite, the breaded Malaysian curry wing, and so many more. They're the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family, and also a great place to enjoy all the college and pro basketball games from around the country. Now tell me something. What's better than enjoying the best wings in town while watching your favorite teams play ball? I can think of absolutely nothing. So just go to firewings.com, find that location nearest you, whether it's my home store in Antelope, Delta Shore, Howe Avenue, and so many more. Order online, and when you get there, don't forget to tell them that your good buddy Carmichael Dave sent you. Hey, it's Fire Wings, locally owned, locally operated. Don't forget, just wing it.
It's time to buck up, Sacramento. The professional bull riders are back. PBR Sacramento Wrangler Long Live Cowboys Classic will take over downtown's Golden One Center this February 2nd through 4th. 3 huge nights of edge-of-your-seat bucking, featuring some of the biggest bulls and toughest cowboys on the planet. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster. Get your tickets for a weekend of non-stop bucking action this February 2nd through 4th.
Hey, what's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Well, it's the new year, so the big question is, what's happening at Hoblet for Chrysler's Start Something New sales event?
Sadly, the end of an era is here. Dodge has stopped making the classic gas-powered Charger and Challenger, so this is your last chance to get your hands on some American muscle with that iconic V8 power. And now is the best time to buy because you can get up to $7,000 off MSRP and 0% financing for 72 months on new 2023 Dodge Charger SXT and Challenger GTs.
Oh, that's one of those things you hope they wouldn't actually do. It truly is the end of an era.
Yeah, and that means when they're gone, they're gone.
See our full inventory at hobletdodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period. 7,000 total net savings after 6,500 dealer discount and 500 factor rebate. Includes 500 first responder cash. Must be member of qualifying first responder program. Plus 0% financing for 72 months on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. 700 plus FICO score required. $13.89 per thousand borrowed and no payments for 90 days. 5 at this net savings. Sample VIN 648404.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Joining us now on Sports Sense, certified financial planner Kelly Brothers. Kelly is an advisor with Cap Trust, one of the nation's largest registered investment advisors. Cap Trust counts among its clients numerous pro athletes and pro sports franchises, but most importantly serves many Northern Californians through comprehensive financial planning. Here's Kelly Brothers.
That's right. It's that time. Sports business with our guy Kelly Brothers. Joining me, Jason Ross, here this morning. Carmichael Dave back with us next week. Good morning, Kelly. How are you today?
I'm doing fine, Jason. Good to be with you. I'm on the phone this morning, but happy to be with you.
Well, you know, we got to be versatile. We'll take it any way we can. We appreciate you joining us. How's business going, by the way? And you're in Cap Trust, new year. How are things going over there?
Everything is going pretty well, Jason. Thanks for asking. It's it's always a kind of a fresh start. And last year was a strange year, but a positive year for most investors, which is good. A nice little bounce back from the terrible year that was 2022. And I say terrible mainly because bonds, for the first time in our lifetimes, did not hold up their end of the bargain in 2022. So we're off and running and hoping for good things to come.
Yeah, and again, I know this is volatile. Things change by the day, but is on the prediction side of things, what's the forecast in that realm look for 2024 like?
My forecast for 24 is that it's going to feel like a dumpster fire, and it's going to feel like a dumpster fire because we're having a national election, and candidates from both parties just basically tear everything down, scorched earth policy, and it makes everyone feel like crap. Pardon my French. I mean, it's just it's sadly part and parcel with the way we run our elections. So it's going to feel bad, but the truth is, if inflation can continue to come in, and today's numbers do not indicate that's happening, but if inflation continues to regress, to more normalized levels below 3%, excuse me, and if the Fed follows through on what it says it believes it will do this year, and that is cut rates by 2 or 3 times, that sets up a nice scenario for stocks and bonds in a year, even if politically it feels like a dumpster fire.
Okay, well, that's something for us to watch. Though they'll turn it to a positive as far as something that has gone well in business and in sports. The Kings last year had a breakthrough year, certainly, Kelly, and they got rewarded for that and acknowledged for NBA Sports Team of the Year, and whether that's season ticket renewals and numbers that grow, the beam, all sorts of stuff. There was a really a feel-good year for the Kings as a business.
Boy, did the Kings need it, right? I mean, think about going into last year, the futility that was the Kings over the prior 20. I mean, it was monumental, but they have turned it around, and all credit to John Reinhardt and Bettina Kolokotronis. They did win Team of the Year at the NBA meetings. They won Innovation of the Year with the Light the Beam, which was fantastic. Don't know who came up with that, but I pick kids up at the airport coming home from college, and they want to see the beam lit up at night if the Kings played that night. So, it was a great innovation. It really brought people together. There's still some things I think they can do to make it even better, but let's face it, the place is rocking every night. They brought in they made a trade, which turns out to have benefited both teams. And we will see. What do they have? 3.5 weeks left before the trade deadline. If they want to add another piece or try to make a go at it. So we'll see. But to see those efforts rewarded from people who toiled in what was, let's put it this way, I mean, prior to 2022 was simply a losing franchise for 2 decades. That's great to see. Great to see.
Yeah, Kelly Brothers joining us here talking sports business on the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Kelly, as far as the team goes too, like it's not new anymore, but I still pinch myself sometimes looking at Golden One Center. I mean, that's truly a fabulous arena. It's held up nicely, and I take it for granted going there every night, basically for Kings games. But there are people that maybe it is still their first time, and it truly is a spectacular building.
It's phenomenal, and it's not just a spectacular building, but it was put in the right place too. To think of this being out where the old Arco or Sleep Train was, that it was put in the right place, and in an era, Jason, where downtowns have very little to celebrate, especially in California, where you're dealing with homelessness and crime, and you're dealing with the state government and businesses that have not returned to work to anywhere near the degree they were prior to 2020. It really is a shiny, bright spot for the downtown area. And if not for that, I'm not sure what that part of downtown would look like right now. I really don't. So hopefully, we can fill up those offices again and bring back the life. I mean, that was the saddest part about COVID to me. Well, there was a lot of sad parts about COVID, but one of them was it felt like downtown Sacramento was ready to explode. Mm-hmm. It just felt like there was so much momentum. And then it all came to a screeching halt. And some of it has come back, but not all of it.
Yeah, as we're talking with Kelly Brothers. Kelly, pretty big football news with coaching announcements over the last 24 hours between Saban, Belichick, Pete Carroll, but also in the last 24 hours, sticking with the NBA, Eric Spoelstra, kind of the other side. Miami says, look, we've got something good. We believe in consistency, continuity. We've got a good coach. Let's reward him. Boy, did he get a nice payday.
Oh, he did. You're right. I mean, when you talk about those college coaches, it literally in an 18-hour period was the end of an era.
Yeah.
I mean, when you take out, Belichick, Saban, and Carroll out of the mix, holy cow! Not to mention the shuffle this is going to create now of coaches being hired and especially other colleges, maybe having to fill a spot they thought was solid for the next year. So, absolutely. And then you have, you're right, Eric Spoelstra. I mean, a testament to not having to move around. How many guys reach, the heights he has reached by becoming the video assistant and working his way up the ladder to become the highest paid coach in North American sports history? $120 million deal. And I know there's rumors out there on the internet that they held off on announcing the deal till his divorce was final. I saw that. Believe me, if there's any part of that goes back to pre-divorce being final, if a judge will see that and will award the ex-wife, something they feel to be commensurate with what she deserves. But if this is a $120 million contract that, let's say, doesn't start till next year, he is good to go. He's the highest paid coach in the history of North American sports. And again, a good guy. You look at the guy and you can't believe that he's been as a part of the Heat for more than a quarter century, which he has been.
On back to the football coaching shuffle, Kelly, a guy like Saban who helped. I mean, Alabama was already a storied program, but he took it to new levels and one of the greatest coaches we've ever seen, and he was well compensated for it. That's a tough job to fill those shoes for sure, but hasn't he just raised that financial bar for whichever coach comes in there to coach Alabama?
Absolutely. And, the thing about it, too, Jason, a lot of people don't realize is, I don't know, what's he making? Is he making $9 million, $10 million a year?
Something like that, yeah.
Whatever the number is, $10 million in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, goes a lot further than $10 million in New York or LA. And it wasn't just that, he also ended up owning multiple auto dealerships. And believe me, there's nothing financial about this decision. Although I will say this, I don't know this to be true, but it would not surprise me if in his heart of hearts, he would have liked to have continued on. The college football playoff next year is going to be nuts, Jason. It's going to be bananas when they have 12 teams. Not only do you have 12 teams instead of 4, but you will have college football teams that have home playoff games in January. Can you imagine the Big House at Michigan? Can you imagine, the stadium at Alabama? Can you imagine these places hosting something they've never done before? Hosting a game, not a bowl game at a neutral site in some city they may or may not want to go to, but a home game. Holy cow. Those are going to be unbelievable. As a matter of fact, it makes me wonder if teams wouldn't rather, is it true? I think the top 4 teams get a bye.
I think that's right. Yeah.
And then 5 through 8 are home against 9 through 12.
Correct.
I think. So I got to be honest with you. There are athletic administrators who will be hoping that they're in the 5 through 8 group and not in the 1 through 4 group. They would rather have a home playoff game than give their team a bye because of the money and exposure associated with that.
For sure. That financial windfall is going to be great.
Right. But at the same time, I've heard it from other coaches and I've seen it, it's a totally new world now in college football where you have to recruit your players each and every year. An amazing stat I read this morning about Saban is that any player who played 4 years for him won a national title. Every player who played 4 years for him won a national title. That's astounding. But players playing 4 years, those are few and far between these days. So the whole recruiting, the whole NIL, this whole world of basically free agency in college football, I mean, it drove Jay Wright out at Villanova in college basketball. He just said, "I'm done. This is not the college basketball I signed up for." And it might have been a piece of why Saban decided now was the time.
I'll think about Saban and Alabama, Belichick and the Patriots, things that are tied together, associated together. Another one I think about that has a split here, Tiger Woods and Nike. I mean, those two were together forever. What happened there with those two?
Right. And one other point before about Saban that a lot of people don't realize. Saban, he also opened the door for success at LSU.
Yep.
He won a national title at LSU at a time when everyone thought LSU had unlimited potential but never won. They just, for whatever reason, couldn't win. He won a national title at LSU, and of course, multiple coaches, I think 2 coaches have won titles there since. So that was another one. But you're right, Tiger and Nike splitting. I'm actually surprised it took as long as it did. This is not a Michael Jordan story. I mean, Tiger made a lot of money off the deal, probably $500 million over 27 years. But Nike gave up making golf equipment in 2016. Tiger, after his last accident, switched from Nike shoes to FootJoy because his foot needed something that FootJoy shoes gave his foot. So it had been waning for a while. But most importantly, there's not an empire there built that is going to pay him millions or billions of dollars into the future because Nike is not making that golf equipment anymore, showing how tough it is to break into that world. But still, obviously, a very successful endorsement format overall. They still sell a lot of golf apparel, the shirts, the hats, the belts, the shorts, the shoes. And it remains to be seen if Tiger is going to sign on with someone else or maybe try to create his own brand, which in many respects he has. Yeah. I mean, that is own Tiger Woods logo at Nike, right?
Yeah. And Nike will be just fine. They'll be okay.
Oh, Nike's good. Yeah, Nike, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So, but another great pick by them early on. I mean, everyone knew he had unlimited potential, but we've seen a lot of athletes with potential. Not many put tens of millions of dollars down on a 19-year-old to sign him like Nike does.
Worked out well in that partnership. Well, Kelly, we appreciate your insight each and every week. Always enjoy talking sports business with you. Look forward to doing it again next week. So we'll talk to you then.
Sounds great. Thanks, Jason.
All right. Thank you. That is Kelly Brothers joining us. Cap Trust, too, is the company that he's involved with. And we always appreciate just those inner workings. I mean, look, there's so much business revolving around sports. That's really what it is. And got to follow the money in a lot of these different cases. So we appreciate getting some insight from Kelly Brothers. Coming up at 8 o'clock, Sam Amick will join us. When we come back, more on that Kings win over the Hornets, and dial us up now at 1-800-920-1140, 800-920-1140, or 339-1140 for our Jiffy Lube Drive of the Game. Be the first to identify that correctly from yesterday, and you'll win a $100 gift card from our friends at Jiffy Lube. We'll do that when we come back here on Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right out of the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
The decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Have you ever envisioned having $500,000 in advertising to conquer the remodel market, but felt overwhelmed at the thought of going it alone? Now you don't have to. Join Subcontractors United and share your advertising with 2 other contractors in your trade. Get $500,000 in advertising for only $1,042 a month. We are so sure this will work that we're giving away free advertising until June 2024 to qualified contractors. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today.
I tried to quit smoking cigarettes probably hundreds of times over the years. 2 or 3 days into quitting again, I go get into a vehicle and guess what? There's a pack of cigarettes in there. I mean, I've got the unlit cigarette in my hand. And I said to myself, why do I even try to quit if I'm going to cave so easily every time? Something clicked in my head that told me I can do this.
Every attempt is part of your story to quit for good. Visit Kick It California today at kickitca.org.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
California's largest Sportsman's Expo is back, January 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Get $3 off coupons at Big O Tires and O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. Get to the action in Toyota's all-new Tacoma. Visit sportsexpos.com for locations, seminars, and show info. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 18th through 21st at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85 or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
Carmichael Dave.
He has very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say.
He's good at what he does.
On Sactown Sports.
One take, up fake, steps back, can't shoot the 3, swings it again to Murray. The Sabonis right back to Keegan. Probes, keeps the dribble alive from the left elbow, gets in the paint, reaches right hand, scores. Terrific take to the basket once again by Keegan Murray, who now has 23 points. 78-62.
Keegan was terrific yesterday. That was a nice highlight. That was not the drive of the game. Your opportunity right now to identify yesterday's Jiffy Lube drive of the game, 1-800-920-1140 or 916-339-1140 as the Kings got the victory over the Charlotte Hornets to get to a season-high 9 games above 500. First one in on the phone lines. Let's see if they can identify it, is Bobby. Bobby, welcome into Sactown Sports. How are you this morning, Bobby?
I'm great. How you doing?
Doing well, thank you. Did you listen to the game yesterday?
I did, off and on, in between my drive to basketball practice.
Oh, to practice?
Yeah.
Are you a coach or are you a player?
I was coaching my son's team.
Nice. How's the squad looking this year?
You know, we're 0-1, but it was a great battle. So we're looking to come back from that.
0-1, is it the coaching?
Oh, what's that?
Is it the coaching?
No, it could be. Very well could be.
All right. What did you hear yesterday? What do you think was the Jiffy Lube drive of the game?
We heard Richard missed a dunk. Kings get the rebound, go in transition. The bonus finds Keegan on the right. Hits a 3. Charlotte calls timeout.
Wow, that's very specific. I haven't played it yet. I don't even think you could be wrong as specific as you are. Those are the details that make a good coach too, Bobby. Let's see. Let's see if you are correct.
Miller controls it, stumbles, gets rid of it to Richards, goes for the hammer, but misses from the right baseline. Murray comes away with it, feeds it ahead of Sabonis, slows at the top of the circle, pivots, gives it up to Keegan, steps into the 3. He's got the triple, and that'll be your Jiffy Lube transition drive of the game.
There you go, Bobby. You nailed it. Missed dunk.
Awesome.
Yeah, all the way through. You had it all the way on the way there. So congratulations. You have won a $100 gift card to our friends at Jiffy Lube. Use that as you may. We appreciate you listening. Best of luck to your team. When's the next game?
This Sunday.
This Sunday.
Come on out. We'll be at Arden Middle School.
Arden Middle School. What's your team's name?
We're the Mavericks, unfortunately.
Oh, the Mavericks. Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you, Bobby. Congrats. Thanks for listening. We do appreciate it.
You got sausage arms and cankles.
Hang on and we'll get your information.
Thank you.
All right. That's Coach Bobby. Bobby's got a squad at 0-1. The Mavericks. I don't know if I can support the Mavericks, Bobby. I'll support you and your son, but not the Mavericks. All right. Appreciate that. Very descriptive. You don't have to be that descriptive on the Jiffy Lube Drive of the Game, but you do have to identify it. Well done by Bobby. Appreciate that. Appreciate for him listening. Appreciate all of you listening. Appreciate the Kings playing the way they did yesterday. Again, lots of things to like. There were more good things in the game. I know we'll reveal in our recap of 3 in the Key how we did on our predictions for the game. But really, if you lay it out for Mike Brown, and yesterday on a pregame show, if you heard that, G-Man interviewed Luke Laux, the assistant coach for the Kings, one of the assistants, and he was really referencing a conversation the team had and the leaders of the team about how they played against Charlotte the last time, kind of how they've been playing, how much they owed Charlotte one. And again, I love the talk. I love all of that. But you got to walk the walk. You got to back it up. You got to support it. And Sacramento did that. I mean, I think Sacramento took control of the game, didn't really let Charlotte back in the game, which was great, and was able to set the terms and to control it and to be able to what a luxury it was for Mike Brown to be able to rest Domantas Sabonis and Keegan Murray the entirety of the fourth quarter. The only, this would be, I don't know if it's a regret. I was a hope. I wanted Sabonis to get another triple-double. He just had to play a few more minutes. He would have had it. He was 3 assists away, and they could have worked on that if that's your goal. But the goal is to win. The goal is, sure, to get some stats. Sabonis is still acknowledged as having a great season, but I think the rest was important. Try to avoid injury, which they did have an injury in the game to Kevin Huerter. That was unfortunate as he played 41 seconds. Got hurt on the opening tip, basically, stepping on Keegan Murray's foot. So that's unfortunate there. Basically, the Kings got a chance to play everybody with the exception of Sasha Vezenkov. Sasha didn't play at all. But Sabonis did. Sabonis was good. Here's what Sabonis told the TV crew after the game. Here he is with Morgan Reagan and Mike Bibby.
We're excited to have you here. Thanks for joining us. You guys saw this team last week, and we're here talking about this win and curious what led to your success into this game, especially on a second night of a back-to-back.
We just know we didn't play our best basketball last time we played them at home a week ago or something, and we just had to come out here with a whole different energy.
Delmas, you've been on a tear the last 20 games, 20 straight double-doubles. How are you able to be so consistent?
I just go out there and do my job. That's what the team needs me to do, and it's the game we love, so we go out there and just have fun.
Keegan had 25 points on 18 shots. What does it mean to your team when he is playing that aggressive?
It's great. It's great. We have a lot of plays that go towards him, and when he's feeling hot, we just keep running them, going at him, and he's making good shots, tough shots, and when he gets hot, it's great for the team.
On Friday, you played one of the best teams in the league in Philadelphia. How confident are you guys going into playing the 76ers?
We've been playing a bit better, and as long as we bring that energy and fight, I think we'll be good. We have a day to rest tomorrow and then really lock in for this game.
Well, go enjoy this win with your team. We appreciate you joining us, Delmas.
Great game, Delmas.
Of course. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. That was from the TV postgame yesterday. And, I think the wording that Morgan asked about Domantas was important, about the aggressive Keegan Murray. Keegan can get his points. Keegan can get some stats. But you guys are watching it. You're listening to it. You see it. He has been a bit more aggressive. And Keegan is, there's a good thing about letting the game come to you and a fine line of forcing things. Keegan's not forcing things. He's attacking the game, putting pressure on defenses. He's a tough cover. We know he can shoot the three. When he puts the ball on the floor now, though, and attacks, that was an area that I had some reservations about. And I know if we go back to the California Classic, and that's, 1 or 2 summer league opportunities at Golden One Center playing against, I would say, quote unquote, lesser competition that he sees during a regular NBA game. But still, you can accomplish some things there. And the Kings basically said, look, you can't shoot too much. Just go. Be aggressive, attack. And we saw him do that. Now, I think there's been moments of that in this regular season, certainly an improvement from last year. But I would say in the last week or so, it's really shown. It's really been present. And DeMontis has been aggressive. And Keegan has been aggressive. They're not waiting for the game, not waiting to see, hey, wow, we're down 12, let's go. I think the more mindset that Keegan can have like that and almost know that it's so important in their outcome, they need Keegan to be like that because Fox is going to get numbers. DeMontis is definitely going to get numbers. Generally, Lyles gets you the production you want. Monk gets you the production you want. We're waiting on the rest of the roster. But if Keegan can do this, now you got something. And Keegan, for those that I would trade Keegan if he gets you a great player, or I wouldn't trade Keegan. More nights like that make you think, man, where can he get to in his career? And he's still just starting. Still hasn't refined it all. Still isn't entirely polished. That's what's great. And another good game from him. And we said it before. Now, 21-2 when he scores 20 or more points, as he had 25 last night. So the Kings got it done. Now they get ready for Philadelphia, team they've had a lot of trouble with. All right, we are going to come back. We're going to visit with Sam Amick, our weekly conversation with him. Lots to cover with Sam. Always appreciate him. Make sure you lock in for that. As we go to break, we're going to give you your chance to win tickets to the International Sportsman's Expo. California's largest sportsman expo is back with hundreds of exhibits, gear, destinations, accessories, and services, plus experts in all things outdoors. This is the place to discover your next adventure, whether it's nearby or around the world. Call the Folsom Lake Honda hotline right now and be lucky caller number 3. If you're that, at 1-800-920-1140 or 916-339-1140, you can lock in those family 4-packs of tickets to California's largest sportsman's expo. That's coming up January 18th through the 21st at Cal Expo. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. Again, 1-800-920-1140 or 916-339-1140. We break. We come back. We start the 8 o'clock hour. Sam Amick from The Athletic. He joins us next.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead.
Get your Kings fix all season long right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. Well, it's the new year, so the big question is, what's happening at Hoblet for Chrysler's Start Something New sales event?
We're keeping our traditions alive by continuing to offer the best savings on remaining new 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cabs. Right now, you can save up to $12,000 off MSRP, and even better yet, you don't have to make a payment for 90 days.
Wow, that's a pretty big deal. $12,000 off MSRP on one of America's favorite trucks.
That's the difference between Hoblet and so many others. We are here to help you get the truck you need at the best possible price, and you won't find a better selection of new Rams with over 500 trucks available. At Hoblet, we want you to be a customer for life.
See our full inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period. 12,000 total net savings after $68.41 factory rebates and $51.59 dealer discounts. Rebates may include 1,000 case equipment bonus cash. Must have purchased new case equipment from qualifying dealer. No payment for 90 days through price or capital on approved credit. 10th this net savings. See dealer for details.
Jackson Hewitt has a plan to get your tax refund fast with a buck here, buck there. Here a buck, there a buck, everywhere a buck.
You don't have to wait weeks for your tax refund. Get money sooner with a no-fee refund advance loan at Jackson Hewitt.
On this loan, there's a money today guarantee. E-I-E-I-DO.
Don't settle for chicken feed. Get fast bucks at Jackson Hewitt today. No-fee refund advance loans by Republic Bank offered to eligible clients. Money today guarantee if approved for a loan on a prepaid card. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
Marcus, what happened?
I was changing my oil and I spilled some on the floor.
Oh, well, use these $50 bills to wipe it up.
Perfect. Got any more?
Yeah, take a couple hundred.
Stop. Instead of using money, use an old rag.
And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level. Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sactown Sports. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
All right, getting ready to start the 8 o'clock hour here on the show. Jason Ross, no Carmichael Dave this week. He's back with us next week as we continue to roll along. Sam Amick will be joining us here in a few moments from The Athletic. We really enjoy our conversations with Sam. He's so dialed into the league, and lots to cover with Sam today, certainly. So we look forward to checking in with him in a few moments. Still to come on the show as well. More on the Kings victory last night. Again, kind of the game that needed to happen, right? For probably the Kings' sake, for Kings fans' sake, the coaching staff as well. Didn't really mess around last night. Took control of the game early. Got a chance to downshift, if you will, into the end. Right? It's a rarity for this team, and for a lot of teams, for that matter. I mean, most NBA games are competitive to the end. You get some outliers there, but you played a team 8 days ago. You were embarrassed by them. I think on the list of bad losses this year, there's larger discrepancies. But I thought that Charlotte game was as out of character of this squad as any. Like trying to explain being down to 50 to the Pelicans, I can't really. Trying to understand getting up 47 to Detroit in the first quarter, tough to fully understand. But when you played like they did to Charlotte the first time, it was really important to bounce back and get a win, and they did. So that was great to see. All right, it's that time. Let's bring in, from The Athletic, the one, the only, Sam Amick, joining us this week. Good morning, Sam. How are you?
Good morning, Jay. I'm doing good, brother. How are you?
I'm great. I'm always curious about your journeys. I know, were you in San Francisco yesterday, or where have you been as of late with your NBA journey?
Good old L.A. I was down there Sunday through yesterday. I actually wrote this yesterday. A note kind of pulling back the curtain about how I initially was supposed to go to LA on Monday, I think it was. And then when a couple of my colleagues dropped a fairly explosive story about the Lakers locker room and Darvin Ham's uncertain status, I decided to move the trip up a day and go catch the Lakers-Clippers game, which for a minute kind of felt like one of those, like, oh boy, if the Lakers get boat raced, would Darvin be in trouble? So the trip began then. Lakers win, did some reporting, found out that I think Darvin's actually safe for at least the foreseeable future. And then back to back though, Jay, you can relate. Like we talk about, we're not out there playing like these guys, but I do sympathize when you go to the arena 3 nights in a row and shift up that sleep schedule a little bit. We're not going to lie, brother. We're dragging a little bit today.
Well, and you had a lot in your recent article. I should have remembered that you were in LA, so apologies on that. But yeah, because you had LA, you had the story with Siakam as well. So we'll kind of go one by one. I want to start because last week I remember, the three of us, Dave was here and we were talking about that. And I felt I was a bit stunned about the Darvin Ham kind of talk, and it almost seemed like between you and those that are reporting on it that it's going to happen. So what did you learn? I mean, he's won a couple of games, but it shouldn't be that fragile. What did you learn on your reporting about why he might be safe?
I mean, to put it bluntly, and this is what's fun about radio, especially on your guys' show, because we talk so openly, because I can't really write it this way. But I mean, what I learned is that, ownership and I guess most of management is fine with Darvin for now. They have frustrations. But ownership is the key component there. Having covered the Lakers for so long, you always have to check with, as Darvin calls her, the boss lady, Jeannie Buss. And so what I learned is that while the locker room might have a pretty significant level of frustration, they're going to have to just make it work. And more specifically, I'm sure you caught all this. Like, man, it just never gets old watching and he's, the disclaimer, incredible player. Maybe, he's top 2, top 3 of all time. But watching the LeBron James passive aggressive show is a sight to behold.
Yeah.
Because and what I'm referring to is that they beat the Clippers. He's well aware, I'm sure, that Darvin's been in the news. He gets asked about Darvin, and he offers like a very tepid, like 8-word response. He was asked, how is Darvin helping this team through this time? And he might as well have just said, well, he shows up to work, like that was kind of all he offered. And then a reporter asked about the Clippers and referred to them as the James Harden Clippers. And LeBron interrupted and said, James Harden Clippers, these are Ty Lue Clippers. And proceeded to sound like he was Ty Lue's agent.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very good friends. And I talked to some Lakers people that were like, I mean, they're buddies. What do you expect? And it's like, I hear you, but he knows the optics, like when you lift one guy up and then you're lukewarm on the other, it doesn't look good. So I don't think that element is great, but I don't think it's toxic either. So they're going to have to just navigate it.
But and I don't know if that's exactly what they said, but when you're saying, he's fine for now, like the fine doesn't really sound like a ringing endorsement for Darvin Ham.
Oh, no, it's not at all. It's a hope that there was a little sense of like from management, like, did our players forget that we hired a first-time head coach? Like we knew that, sometimes coaching development is an area that gets forgotten about and is not given much grace or patience. And they're basically saying, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that we don't understand why he did this and why he did that. But he'll learn from it. And we still believe in who he is and where he's going. So they want some developmental patience, which is again, to be fair to LeBron, is a pretty tough ask when, your best player is doing things at this age that no one's ever done. And Father Time is still beating down his door. So the dynamics are tricky on that front.
You're also down there, you said like 3 games in a row, basically. The Raptors were in town. They're a story. They were a story here. They were a story when they went through the Warriors. And mainly the story is Pascal Siakam. What did you learn about him as those rumors with the Kings, maybe Warriors, others? What's going on with him and his future with Toronto?
So it was a funny experience because with Toronto in town, and I wrote this part, but like you're in real time, and how we all sit around pregame talking to different people. Crypto, which I now have begrudgingly started calling it, formerly Staples, like at the sideline of that Lakers Raptors game, there's just a lot of media, a lot of agents, a lot of front office executives. And I kept making my way down the sideline saying hello to different people. And it cracked me up because while Siakam was doing his warm up on the floor, like it seemed like damn near every person on the sideline was talking about him and his future, and having their opinion. And some of the people are people who are actually involved in his situation. And so what I learned is that, for one, I'll start here. The prospect of him signing an extension with the Raptors is not off the table yet. It's a pretty unique situation because it seems clear that they're ready to move on from him. But if the market is so underwhelming that they're going to have to take pennies on the dollar, then there is a scenario that exists where they might ultimately have to, pay him out and then maybe trade him, sign and trade later this summer if they want to. I just think that, they clearly haven't been offered enough to make him go ahead and hit that button. But as it relates to the Kings, it was not great news. It was the idea that that number one, he's planning on hitting free agency and looking at all of his options if he's a free agent this summer, as expected. But more specifically to the Kings, that he's not excited about that possible situation, and would very likely not resign. So I will say, things change in this league all the time. Fans understandably and predictably brought up the Chris Webber comparison, which is a good one. It really is. I mean, that does apply. If Siakam came here and absolutely clicked with Domas and Fox and had a good run, because I will say, to make this part clear, if they go ahead and roll the dice and he's a King, like, my full expectation would be like he's a professional, like he's going to have the jersey on and play his tail off. So nobody's trying to say he's not going to show up and ball out. So from there, who knows? But I do think there's it's not a market thing per se. There is a specific element with the Kings that it just doesn't have him excited. So that'll be part of their calculus as they decide what to do here.
Yeah, I'm interested in that drilling down on that, Sam, because in the past it made sense for people why they wouldn't want to come here, and not that it's all solved in one season, but it does seem it's way more appealing than it's been, from the arena to the style to the success they're having to the degree. But do you think any of it for Siakam, who's been an all-star and a really good player, if he came here? I don't know that he's featured player one, may not even be featured player two. And as Keegan grows, if he stays here, he would be a really important part of the piece, but may not be the piece. Would that be any of his reservations at all?
I don't admittedly have full clarity on what they are, other than I think, with players like this and teams like the Kings, you're going to be constantly, courting or not recruiting is the wrong word, but like considering adding. I mean, teams are constantly thinking about adding good players, right? I get the sense that, behind the scenes, some of the communication that has unfolded to this point just hasn't landed in the kind of way that has him fired up. I'll put it that way. And partly choosing not to share everything, but admittedly partly not knowing all of it. But there's, it's almost like you go into a party and you got a buddy of yours who you're talking to and you can't figure out why they're just not vibing with this other friend that you like. You know what I mean? Like what is something happened here? So it's a little strange. And it's also that time of year where, the power games are happening. So beyond the Kings, I think that Siakam's camp is, they are looking at which pathway can we guide him toward to secure a full max, which is what he wants. And it's not just the money. My understanding is in his talks with the Raptors about an extension on the money side that they have been at the max level. It's more the years and the terms than it is the money. So it's being framed as if the max element is kind of non-negotiable. And what they don't want, and this is a little bit reminiscent of James Harden last summer, what they don't want is like, they know how many teams have the kind of cap room to cut the kind of check they're looking for. And free agency very possibly, will not lead to the kind of full max or even any max that he's looking for. I don't know that, I don't know exactly what that market looks like, but, getting an extension out of the Raptors because they need to get assets in return for moving him might still be their best play and probably is. And I think they're leaning on that. They know that Masai Ujiri, who runs the Raptors, has taken a lot of flack for losing guys for nothing. Fred VanVleet, last summer, another player who is escaping me right now, but they've had this stretch where, like, if you're retooling, you got to get something for these guys and not just watch them walk away. And Siakam's people know that. And I think that's why they keep pushing for an extension.
Yeah. Kawhi, wasn't he the other one?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
You know,
Pretty significant one. Yeah.
pretty significant one. Yeah.
Did you have in any of these talks about him, about his future, what Siakam may do on the Kings side of things? Did you ever get, I don't know, full confirmation, but what was reportedly going to be, if the Kings were intrigued with Siakam, what the Raptors would want from Sacramento?
My general understanding is that it's, a Harrison Barnes, Kevin Huerter, Davion Mitchell approach. And then in terms of picks, possibly, I don't have clarity there. I think philosophically, it has felt like the Kings' willingness, and I do think those talks were pretty significant when they got reported last week. This was not just continued flirtations. This was like, hey, are we getting somewhere here? And, there was even, when I was in LA, there was some chatter about the Raptors kind of allegedly moving the goalpost a little bit. And when it looked like something might get done, asking for more, which conceivably would have been a Keegan Murray type or something, something like that. I think the Kings are looking at this like, the only scenario in which we will do this is you taking our players who, and I'm is delicate here because these guys are important in what they're doing right now, but like who are not necessarily seen as part of the long-term future. Now, Huerter to me is the tricky one there because, man, it's just been a tough year for him where, last year he was a massive part of what they did, gets off to a tough start this year, feels like he loves it in town. But it's, the league is tough. They, guys not named LeBron and Steph and KD and all those guys are typically available. It's just how it works. It's a long-winded answer to your question, Jay, but I think like we'll give you the pieces that we are comfortable giving you that don't significantly impact our future, aka Keegan Murray. And if you ask for anything beyond that, then there's really no reason for us to talk.
Yeah.
And we'll see if that changes, but that's the way it's been explained to me.
Yeah, and if that's it, again, you're so right, Sam, that these guys are still people and they're still parts of these teams. But if that truly is an offer on the Kings front of some liking of Barnes, Huerter, Mitchell, maybe some picks or something along the lines for Siakam, with the risk being that he may not re-sign, boy, that would still be a tempting risk to take for me as someone that goes, if you keep Keegan and you got Monk and you keep Fox and Sabonis, I don't know. I mean, I think Monty McNair and West might revisit that one. That's just a total guess on my part, but what do you think about that?
I do, and we're just we get paid to analyze this stuff. So
yeah,
I'll get over the feeling guilty aspect of it. Barnes, Huerter, Mitchell are on the short list of players this season who I think are perceived as having been disappointing.
Yeah, they've underperformed. You're right.
Yes. And Mitchell in particular is a guy that they picked really high, but all you got to do is watch the games and realize that his part in their program has changed significantly since last season. So yeah, I think the temptation is there. I don't think, even though the Kings had indicated that the talks had ended, that was said with a month to go before the deadline. I anticipate that they certainly will revisit it. Talking to people in LA, I guess just to broaden the scope a little bit, Indiana sounds to be very interested. So I think Indiana's going to be in the mix. I don't know what they're willing to put on the table. Golden State is another one.
Mm-hmm.
The Warriors, that is real. I don't know how, what those conversations have been like, but I'm with you. I do. It could become one of those trades for any of those teams because it's, again, to repeat this part, it's not just Siakam picking on the Kings as far as free agency goes. Like he is not indicating to any team that he goes to that he will resign in advance. He's just not going to do that. So everybody is having to roll the dice here if they want this guy to play for them. So we'll see what happens. But if you talk about just the rest of the year and what does that look like? I mean, that's pretty nice. I think some people feel like with the Kings, and I'm curious how you think basketball wise, like any concern about duplication between Siakam and Keegan in terms of roles?
Not entirely for me, but I mean, I'm more into acquiring the more talent you can have and kind of sorting it out. But No, I don't think I would. The biggest concern is the red flag right there is re-signing him.
Yeah.
And does that make financial sense with Monk? I mean, to me, Sam, the other part of the equation for the Kings that's really interesting is Monk. I mean, I think they've paid Fox, they've paid Sabonis. There'll be a time where if they want to go down this road, they want to keep Keegan, he'll be due. But the most pressing one is Monk, and he's been an important part, and he should get a good payday. But kind of factoring him in with a trade, with a potential free agent, that's a tricky one, I think, for the Kings.
I agree. And on top of that, it's, Siakam's, I mean, he's a 2-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA. I know people generally, at least on social media, those people, when I reported that he was seeking a max, there was, and we're guilty of only seeing like the negative responses, but like a lot of people finding that humorous that don't see him as a max player. Like, people sometimes forget that the way NBA economics works is that the salary cap inevitably or inherently, means that like the phrase max player, it should not be equated with like, best. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like LeBron James, might make $40 million a year, 48 million, whatever it is. He's actually worth 110. I'm just throwing a number out there. So the sliding scale aspect of that means that a guy like Siakam in the NBA market very possibly could wind up as a max player again. But for the Kings, sure, it'd be great if he was a 29-year-old who was looking for a competitive situation and looking to just make the contract work in order to be in a good basketball situation. That's clearly not what's happening. And they're going to have to, let's say they did roll the dice, then they're trying to re-sign him, or any team. I mean, that age is a factor. 29 is not old, but he's moving to the back end of his prime. So a lot of factors to consider for sure.
Talking with Sam Amick here, our weekly visit with Sam from The Athletic. Now, Sam, Siakam can't be the only one on the Kings list and or really around the league. We are getting closer, as you said. Who are some other names, teams that, Levine's out there, but some other ones that we should watch? Because I think back to last deadline, Sam, where, I mean, we had generational talent being dealt. Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Westbrook. I mean, there were so many moves last year. What are you keeping your eye on here over the next couple weeks?
I mean, I do feel like we keep recycling the same names, so in the interest of trying to advance the conversation a little bit, I'll say that Charlotte has become an interesting team to watch. I think we might've hit on this in past visits, Jay, but like the Miles Bridges component is going to be really uncomfortable for somebody because he's a pretty good player, with an absolutely awful, off-court profile at the moment. So, a guy like that comes to mind. Gordon Hayward, who gets paid a ton of money, but who's on an expiring contract, comes to mind. Terry Rozier. Charlotte in general is in flux. Ownership change. Rumors about Mitch Kupchak in the front office. Is he going to be around? And so it's created a kind of a conversation where people think that maybe a bunch of those guys are going to change jerseys. So if you talk about talent, do any of those guys fit the Kings' needs? And then from there, the Chicago situation continues to evolve with Zach LaVine coming back. I actually don't know, and I should have looked. What have the results been like since he came back? Is this on your radar at all?
Mixed bag. I know one of the games came back. He came off the bench, and they're up and down, much like they've been most of the year, a little below 500.
Yeah, well, because you've got Zach, who kind of needs to show everybody that he's healthy. But I do think there's people who feel like he would be the best fit for the Kings, which is an interesting debate. But you've got DeMar DeRozan, whose situation is still in flux. You got Alex Caruso, who, of all the names we've talked about, like that is probably, other than Siakam, the one. Maybe, I mean, if you talk about just like, getting a deal done and having a guy help your team, Caruso might be at the top of that list. But the Bulls, by all accounts, are actually asking for multiple first-round picks, so the price is pretty high. We'll see if that changes. Who am I leaving out here as we try to make the round?
I think those are the main names, and then, I think there's
DeJounte Murray in Atlanta.
That one's come up. Yeah,
Clint Capella. I mean, that's that one's an interesting one. I don't know what it would take, but the Kings could certainly use some more rim defense. DeAndre Hunter on the Hawks is available too. So not as sexy of a pool of names, like you said, as it was this time a year ago, but some pretty good players.
Well, and then it's going to turn out to be a pretty significant names level and name value in the free agency market this summer. But to your point, you said earlier, Sam, a lot of teams don't have money. We've already kind of had the first mark of that yesterday as far as names and Kawhi Leonard getting the extension. I think it makes sense for what they did. What's your read on the Clippers' decision there? And it sounds like they may try to do the same with Harden and or Paul George.
Yeah, I mean, it's how quickly the fortunes have turned for the Clippers. I keep joking with people that I'm taking some credit for their turnaround, because when James Harden and I had that long interview a couple weeks ago in San Francisco, and he unpacked a lot of his feelings about Philly and Houston and all these different things, they started winning the next day, man. And next thing you know, they win 13 out of 15. They lose to the Lakers, but they come back last night and take care of the Raptors. They're good. I'm going to write next week. And for the YouTubers, sorry, I suddenly look like I'm up in an airplane or something. The sunlight is hitting me hard.
Like you're like on an album. It's like the side shot, like an 80s album cover or something.
Here, I'm going to fix it. They live TV.
Yes.
There we go. Much better. Now I lost my train of thought.
You're talking about the Clippers and what they were
doing.
The
Clippers.
Yeah.
No, they look good. I'm going to write next week about the Suns. And I actually, yesterday was a good day on the reporting front. Pretty good conversations with Kevin Durant, and stick with me here, I'll get to the Clippers. Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker, and actually spoke to all three of those guys about what I think is an interesting comparison between them and the Clippers. And the idea that you have these three perimeter players who are, perennial all-stars, future Hall of Famers, who are trying to make it work. Well, the Clippers, right out the gate when they got James Harden, they lost 5 or 6 in a row. They were terrible. Russell Westbrook goes to the bench. Things get better. The Suns are in it right now, but a lot of the themes are similar. So I'm curious to see if Phoenix can find its way, because they just haven't had a lot of court time together with their three guys. And their goal should be to do what the Clippers have done, which is, I mean, for one, the massive difference between those two situations is that people can hate on Harden all they want, but when he's locked in, he's a pretty damn good player, and more specifically, pretty damn good point guard. Mm-hmm. And the Suns, are asking Devin Booker to play that role. He's good at it. He's not James Harden. And Harden running that Clippers offense, finding Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, running an absolute ton of pick and roll has been key, and they're dangerous. Zubac has been a really good fit with Harden. Westbrook is hot and cold off the bench, but Norm Powell playing well. So they look really dangerous. To me, they're getting pretty close to being legitimately in that title contending conversation. So they lock up Kawhi. I think, like he said in his press conference, Paul George and maybe James are to come this summer. We'll see if Paul gets extended in advance of that. But Steve Ballmer has got to be feeling good these days. The Clippers owner has got his own arena coming next season. That game that I went to on Sunday, little fun fact, was the last time that the Clippers will ever have been the road team in their own building, because that was a Lakers game. So they're going to get out, they're trying to get out from underneath that Lakers shadow. And with the stakes incredibly high, it's good timing for them to have pulled it together and actually played some good basketball.
Well, I know the next couple of weeks is going to be an adventure for a lot of us, for you as well, Sam. We always love talking to you, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you so much for joining us again.
You got it. Thanks, Jay. Talk soon, buddy.
Yeah, for sure. Sam Amick, again, just incredible stuff that Sam provides each and every week. We always look forward to that. Lots of you do too as well. We appreciate you guys hopping on there on our YouTube or on our chats, or certainly on the text line. But incredible work by the Athletics' Sam Amick. We break. We come back. More show coming up. When we come back, we got 4 Down territory. A lot of coaching news around the NFL with Bill Belichick, Pete Carroll, even Nick Saban to college. And we'll continue more conversations about the Sacramento Kings and some of the stuff Sam said about the Pascal Siakam Trade rumors will continue with all that and more straight ahead here on Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
Harrison Barnes plays here.
Harrison Barnes drives it, hammers it. The Black Falcon soaring into the night sky on a Monday evening in Northern California.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It is Thursday. We're off to a chilly start as we're drying out for today. Expect a mix of sun and clouds for the afternoon. Highs peaking in the lower 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
When it's chilly cold at night, don't just add another blanket. Add a new furnace system instead. Now for as low as $5,999 with 0% interest and no payments for 18 months. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-817-7142. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-817-7142 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142.
It's time to buck up, Sacramento. The professional bull riders are back. PBR Sacramento Wrangler Long Live Cowboys Classic will take over downtown's Golden One Center this February 2nd through 4th. 3 huge nights of edge-of-your-seat bucking, featuring some of the biggest bulls and toughest cowboys on the planet. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster. Get your tickets for a weekend of non-stop bucking action this February 2nd through 4th.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85 or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITBfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
California's largest sportsman's expo is back, January 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Find the best selection of boats, side-by-sides, campers, and accessories, all at special prices. And get to your next adventure in style. See Toyota's all-new Tacoma. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 18th through 21st at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Carmichael Dave here for my good friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Right now, American Energy offering $0 HVAC diagnostics. That's normally $99 for nothing. Let the American Energy team test your system, connections, and all the moving parts of your system to ensure it's functioning properly. Let me say that again. $0 to get your HVAC diagnostic tid. That's not even a word. That's normally $100. Making the uncomfortable comfortable. That's what American Energy does. That's what they've done since 1981. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since then. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Call today to schedule your appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Do it before January 31st or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Bleed black and purple. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on your local sports leader, Sactown Sports.
We've had a couple of beam lightings in a row. They've been on the road, but that's okay. Wins over the Pistons, wins over the Charlotte Hornets. Next up, Philly tomorrow. Game got moved to national television, 4:30 start. We'll have it here on Sactown Sports with the G-Man Gary Gerald on the call. Thanks again to Sam Amick. Again, we get probably the most feedback about that. Kelly Brother, just all of our guests. We really love all of our guests, but a lot of people love Sam each and every week, and so dialed into the league and just to the intrigue. And we're going to bring that up a little bit later to basically the Pascal Siakam situation. Is the risk worth it? I mean, right now the Kings are saying no, and that's what you say now if you don't love all elements of a deal. You know, there's always a risk to any trade proposition, and they'll know better than we do what other potential offers are out there and what other ways you can help make the team better. But I think they've seen enough to know that they have to address this. I mean, to think that you can just wait and hope that Harrison Barnes finds more consistency or that Kevin Huerter will get his shot back. I don't think it's lost forever, but it hasn't been good this year, and so there'll be games here and there for each guy. But that's critical. I mean, you like what you're getting nightly from Fox, Sabonis, and Keegan. And really, I would add Malik Monk and probably Trey Lyles as the 5 most consistent players this team has. 2 are off the bench, and that's fine. But the 2 other starters, it's just wildly inconsistent. And whether that's been Duarte or Keon Ellis or Huerter or Barnes, it just has been too inconsistent probably for all of their liking. So trying to find that seems more of a hope than the risk it is to make a trade to change up that lineup. Now, again, what do you have to give up? If you can keep those other elements, trade to me sounds way more intriguing, but that's the risk you take. So, all right, more on that coming up. We got who's hot and who's not next and a recap of our predictions from yesterday for 3 in the key. But let's do it. It's time for 4 down territory. All right, Chris, what do you have on first down?
Should Pete Carroll move to the front office in Seattle or take another head coaching job if offered?
Oh, take the coaching job if offered. I mean, it sounds like that's what he wants to do is still coach. He was very professional in his response to getting dismissed. Parting of ways, I don't think it's mutual. I think he still wants to coach or wanted to coach Seattle. They don't want him to coach Seattle anymore, so you can't force that. That's not happening. They may find a position for him in the front office, kind of hey, we'll see what it means, what you do, an advisor, whatever that means in these kind of positions. But I think he's been loved by his players, and I think he still has the gusto to do it. So if a team is willing to, and what's funny is, a lot of times people will, and I get it, look at the age and go, well, how many more years can he really do this? A lot of coaches are given 2, 3, 4 years. I mean, I think Pete Carroll can do this for that long. Why not? But is there a team? You're as good as your options. I always say that. If he doesn't have an option, he can't be a head coach. So do you take the job as whatever, consultant, advisor, someone getting a paycheck from the Seahawks? Maybe you do if you want to stay in football. So we'll see what's next for Pete Carroll. But if he's offered a job, yeah, take it. Absolutely take it. All right, second down.
The Denver Broncos are reportedly leaving the door open for a possible return of Russell Wilson. Should Wilson want to return to Denver?
I don't think he should want to. I mean, I don't understand the entirety of what Denver wanted to do with him and then the execution of it. Wilson had an okay year. He wasn't a part of the reason why they fell short at the end. I mean, he did some good things for Sean Payton and for the Broncos. But at the end, whether it was a financial reason or not, to basically sit him the last game or two, to me didn't make a lot of sense. And so if a team like Pittsburgh said, Russell Wilson, we want you to help us out, where they've already got a really good roster, but quarterback piece is something that's missing, something like that, if that became available for Russell Wilson, he should bounce. He should go. I don't know that if I was the player that got benched at the end of the year, for whatever reason it was financially, I don't know that I want to go back to that organization. So, yeah, he should want to move. All right, third down.
Will Bill Belichick break Don Shula's record for all-time wins in the NFL?
So I think he is 15 behind. Double check that. So how does he get to that? Well, he obviously needs another opportunity. And I think there are some teams, and there are reports that there are some teams that would be interested in Bill Belichick, whether that's Atlanta or the Chargers. Right now, Bill Belichick is officially about, was he 15 away, something like that, going into the year? So it's reachable. It's whether or not he has the desire. I think he has the desire. He wants to coach. He said that before, and we'll hear his press conference. I think that's coming up at maybe 9 our time or noon our time. I can't remember which they're having at Eastern time. But Bill Belichick can coach still. He's got to have the right roster. I would probably leave him out of front office decisions if I was a team that wanted to hire Bill Belichick, and go forward from there. And if you're that team that hires him, hopefully you get a turnaround. If you're a team that struggled, you'll get a chance to get all those famous pictures. If he does break the record, it'll be as your coach, carrying off the field or whatever they do if he breaks that record, or dousing him with Gatorade. Yeah, I think there's someone that's going to put an offer, and I think Bill Belichick's going to be coaching next year. That's my gut feeling. All right, fourth down.
What was your reaction to Nick Saban stepping down from coaching?
Well, I was surprised, first and foremost. I think, Chris, you're the one that let me know that. You sent me that. I was like, wow, my goodness. That one came out of nowhere. But I'm happy for him. I mean, that one does not feel like a force out. That one feels like, hey, my time has come. I've done a great job. I'm happy with my resume. I'm going to move on with the next step in my life, whether that's full retirement, whether that's something with ESPN broadcasting, whatever it may be. But it's still a surprise element. He had not formally said anything publicly about that. There were some rumors, but I was surprised. And I just think of Alabama football. I think of Nick Saban, and it just fits into what's going to go on next year with college football. Alabama is always there, perennially favored to either be the champ or in the Final Four. Well, next year we no longer have a Final Four of the BCS. We've got changes amongst the conferences. Texas and Oklahoma will be in the SEC. The Pac-12 is dissolved, basically. You've got UCLA, USC, Oregon, Washington going to the Big Ten. All the movement to the Big 12. NIL, transfer portals. It's all changing right in front of our eyes. And if that's why Nick Saban is as another add-on, why he stepped down, could be. But that landscape is changing. It's changing very fast. I'm not certain for the better. All along, I was for a larger playoff. That could be beneficial. But some of this other stuff, I don't know if it's better for the league. And maybe it is for college football, but not for college sports. And what I mean by that is college football should just be its own entity. It should be a business. They pretend that it's not. Student athletes, they kind of hide under that cover. But knowing where they're going to take the largest TV deals, and why are these teams moving amongst conferences? Money. That's all they're doing it for. But the fact that the other sports on these same universities get caught up in it and have to deal with college football's business decisions, that's impacted college sports.
Good at business.
Maybe not in this case. College football is good at it and acquiring all the money they can get, but it's impacting tennis and track and swimming, water polo, baseball, whatever the sport you might be. Those guys should all stay regional. They should be staying in their own current leagues. You don't have to have, Stanford tennis going to play at Wake Forest on a Southwest on, 2 stops. College football, they fly on charters. Football games are, at best, you're going to have 2 road games in a row. You might travel once a month, maybe twice. You're not out of school for days and days. it's impacted every other thing. But again, they're student athletes. That's what they want to tell you. And they are. I'm not mocking them. The athletes, it's incredible what they have to do to go to school, to concentrate on their craft and all the time that takes. I don't blame them, but it's just the ever-changing landscape of college football. Get used to that, for sure. All right, we break. When we come back, we ask the question of who's hot, who's not. We'll look back at how we did on the Kings Hornets predictions and more as we continue here on Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt, and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean, and there I was 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
The 49ers Report, brought to you by EB Stone. EB Stone, for the life of your garden. The Red and Gold's 2023 regular season campaign ended with a loss in Week 18, falling to their rivals from the South 21-20. Backup quarterback Sam Darnold played the entire contest, having a good first half with 2 total touchdowns and 169 passing yards. The second half is where things fell apart, allowing 14 unanswered points by the visitors. San Francisco now ends the regular season at 12-5, elated to have a first-round bye in the postseason.
Welcome the new year with EB Stone, your go-to for indoor gardening success. In 2024, enrich your indoor oasis with EB Stone's Indoor Potting Mix, our best premium blend crafted for vibrant growth. Explore our comprehensive range from soil amendments to fertilizers and find everything your indoor garden craves. Nurture new beginnings, cultivate lush landscapes, and witness your dreams unfold. Cheers to a green and thriving new year with EB Stone, the heartbeat of your indoor garden success. Find a location near you for our products and tips at ebstone.org. What's hot and what's not? Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot. And what's not?
It's not good. Brought to you by American Energy Heating and Air, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company, and second opinion partner.
All right. Well, let's do it. Let's ask that question. What or who is hot, Chris?
The Utah Jazz?
They are hot.
You know, there have been 524 times in NBA regular season history where a team has faced an opponent with a 650 winning percentage 3 consecutive games. The Utah Jazz are the first ones to win all 3 by double digits.
Wow.
They beat the 76ers by 11 on Saturday. They beat the Bucks 16 on Monday. Last night, they beat the Nuggets by 13.
I don't know. I mean, one, who's going to get that schedule in a row, but that's going to be as good of a win streak for anybody this year to beat the Sixers, the Bucks, and the Nuggets. That's incredible. And it's the Utah Jazz now within 1 game of 500.
If only they didn't get their teeth kicked in by the Celtics.
Well, that happens. Glad the Kings got a couple wins over the Jazz already because they are playing much, much better. Good for them. That would qualify as hot. Those are 3 impressive wins in a row. Those 2 teams, 2 of those teams the Kings are facing very soon. In fact, their next 2 opponents, the Sixers and the Bucks. All right. Well, how about on the other side of things? Who's not hot?
Kevin Durant.
Really?
Kevin Durant specifically in the fourth quarter. This season in the fourth quarter, Kevin Durant is shooting 29% from mid-range shots, and he has 23 turnovers to go along with 23 assists in the fourth quarter this season.
KD all day.
Stinky.
And that's the next opponent for the Sacramento Kings after that.
So just have to get to the fourth quarter and let Durant have the ball.
Yeah. And get out of his way because he'll screw it up. Okay. Well, that's who's hot.
Hopefully he's listening. Hopefully someone tweets this to him.
Well, his burner's always listening, right? Does he still have that? Does he still have a burner account?
I'm sure
I guess
does.
we would never know. Or maybe we do know. All right, let's look back at we made some predictions, some good, some bad, some bold for 3 in the key for the Kings and the Hornets. Time to recap it. Kings got the win. That's the most important part. But we asked of you, Chris, of me, and Carmichael Dave did chime in via text. We went with the first basket made by the Sacramento Kings. None of us took Kevin Huerter, and that's a good thing because sadly he hurt himself in the opening possession of the game. We went with the big guns with Murray, Sabonis, and Fox. None of us took Harrison Barnes. I took Keegan Murray. Chris, you took Domantas Sabonis. And Dave took De'Aaron Fox.
The bad thing, I think they all got a chance at it.
They did. They did. Murray, I think, had the best look. I'm like, there it is. Come on, Keegan. I think the Kings were down 4-0 already, which isn't much. And De'Aaron Fox would score first. So Carmichael Dave gets the correct response there. Circle gets the square. Next up, because they had struggled in the previous game, we thought we'd bring up the fact that Kevin Huerter points and Harrison Barnes points. Feels like an asterisk, but I guess we could have predicted 0 for Kevin Huerter. Played, like we said, 41 seconds. I said Kevin Huerter would score 11. Harrison Barnes would score 6. Chris, you said Kevin Huerter would score 9. Harrison Barnes would score 16. And Dave had 18 for Huerter and 8 for Harrison Barnes. The correct answer was 0 and 6. So I got the 6 for Barnes, but not the 0 for Kevin Huerter. That one feels we were unlucky there. We're unlucky. Lastly, a random stat. Something different, something weird, something odd, something we go, man, did you see that in the game? Dave said, and we allowed him to have this, that the Kings would beat Charlotte. Because that,
it was the first time that they won back-to-back games.
First time they won back-to-back, both legs of the back-to-back. And, Dave's very much, they're they're going to lose to Detroit and lose to Charlotte. So he put it out there, and maybe because he didn't audibly say it, just gave it to us via text, but he did. So he gets that. Chris, you said Juan Toscano Anderson would have 5 points or more. He played a lot.
Close.
2 points.
Almost there.
But here's the best stat I saw for Juan Toscano Anderson. He played 16 minutes, 1 of 4, misses only 3, had 3 rebounds, a couple of fouls, 1 block. His plus minus, plus 20.
Of course.
Got to play him more. JTA.
All day.
And I had, my random stat was the Kings would win, but they would win in a game where they had less than 30 assists and shot less than 50% from the floor. Because when they shoot 50% from the floor, they have won every game or better. And when they have 30 assists or more, they have won every game. So I thought, you know what, they're going to win, but not hit those marks. Well, they shot 52%, so I didn't quite get that right, but only 24 assists. So half of that was correct. We'll have another 3 in the key tomorrow.
I'm freaking jacked.
Aren't you, Pete? You think Pete Carroll is jacked for the upcoming Bill Belichick press conference?
You should probably ask him.
Yeah. Hey, Pete, how do you feel? There's a press conference coming up in about 6 minutes in New England, and it's going to feature Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick. I'd be curious just to gauge your emotions, how you're feeling about it.
I'm freaking jacked.
Okay. We now know. What, not tone, Chris, what do you think? Are we going to get talkative Bill Belichick? Reflective? Or just,
we've decided to part ways. Or
I'm under contract, and they had decided to do something else.
Like if he was retiring with the most wins in NFL history, I think this would be a retrospective. This was my career.
What if it came out with like, hey, I just wanted to tell everybody I wrote a song. And then he has like a guitar and he just starts singing.
Or if he goes up there, grabs a microphone, he's like, we decided to do this, but I'm not leaving.
I refuse to go.
I'm not leaving.
They're going to have to kick me out.
I'm not leaving. He just says a whole Wolf of Wall Street, but in that tone.
Bill Belichick, we might check in on that.
We're going to need a battering ram to get
get him out. Is he in a hoodie? Is he in a short sleeve cutoff hoodie? Is he in a suit?
I'm going to say Patriots collared shirt.
Okay. I'm going with a button down dress shirt, but not a tie and not a coat. Robert Kraft will be decked out to the full.
Oh, what color will his handkerchief be?
Robert Kraft?
Yeah.
Like that offshoot of Patriot red or whatever.
Yeah,
it's a blue suit.
It's going to be blue.
Yeah, but he's going to have a little bit of red and white in
It's going to be like a hot pink.
Oh, yeah. To get attention. Okay. But Bill Belichick, I think it's going to be in either a patterned dress shirt or solid blue.
It's going to be like a polo shirt.
Oh, you're going polo.
Khaki.
I'm going button down dress shirt. We'll find out. You'll find out. Can't wait. That's our predictions on that. When we come back, final hour of the show today. That shakeup in the NFC West, how does it affect the Niners and Niners at 9? We'll also check in on that press conference as well. Still look back at the Kings and Hornets win last night and more feedback from what Sam Amick was talking about earlier in the show. Again, if you miss anything, go back to Sactown Sports, show his podcast there when the show is complete, and you can watch or listen to the interview with Sam Amick. Really incredible stuff about Pascal Siakam and really where the Kings are in this and kind of the risk they may have to take if those talks resurface about potentially trying to re-sign him, which, as Sam said, basically Siakam has told everybody that, he's not looking to re-sign at this point with the team that trades for him, but that could change. It's just he's looking for the biggest financial dollars. Right now, he can still get that with Toronto. We break. We come back. More to get to in the final hour of the show. That is next right here on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sactown Sports brings you a doubleheader of NFL playoff action this Saturday. The playoffs begin in Houston as the upstart Texans host the Cleveland Browns.
That's it! The Browns are going to the playoffs!
Following Game 1, the Dolphins head to Arrowhead to face Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Touchdown! Kansas City!
Coverage of Super Wildcard Weekend begins Saturday at 1 on Sactown Sports, your home for Super Bowl 58.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Don't miss out on limited time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today. Because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 1/4 through 1/24. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
When you use Bounce dryer sheets and your clothes look amazing, it's the sheet. Less static in your life? Yeah, it's the sheet. Smelling fresher than ever? It's the sheet. Oh, so soft fabric? Ooh la la. It's the sheet. Less wrinkles on your clothes? You know it's the sheet. Bounce dryer sheets. More freshness, more softness. Less static, less wrinkles. It's the sheet.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then
boom, with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
All right, welcome into the final hour of the show. Jason Ross here with you. We got Styles and Watkins at the end of the hour. This is normally Niners at 9. Plenty of football to discuss, including the impact of Pete Carroll out in Seattle. But press conference going on right now in Foxborough. Let's check in a little bit here with Bill Belichick.
Thanks and appreciation to the players. Players win games in the NFL, and I've been very, very fortunate to coach some of the greatest players that have ever played. Some of the greatest players that have ever played for the Patriots. Some of them are already in the Hall of Fame. Many more are going. But again, regardless of how long any of the players were or weren't here, what their role was, or how many games they played, or even if they didn't win championships, and I respect the way the players come to work here on a daily basis. All of them. I've coached, well over 1,000, but their ability to work, prepare, train, in the weight room, train their bodies, meet, rehearse over and over again, what we need to do things right to be successful, to win. It's just, I have so much respect for all the players. And certainly we've had, many that have been here for a long time and, had great contributions and too many to name at this time. But, great thanks to the players and to the media for you guys. I don't know that anybody's gotten more coverage than I have or we have in the past 24 years. Meet with you guys a lot. Respect what you do. You're a voice to the fans, and even though we don't always see eye to eye all the time, most of the time, but not all the time, I do respect what you do. And finally, to the fans, fans here are amazing. There's so many memories of the fans, the send-offs, the parades, the Sundays, whatever the situations are, the letters of support, seeing the fans, away from here, at a gas station or a grocery store, or, where you bump into them, Patriot fans here, and not just in New England, but they extend nationally and even internationally as I've traveled. It's amazing how far the arm reaches. We saw that this year in Germany. So appreciative of the fans for all the support they've given me, my family, and this football team. And it's with there's so many fond memories and thoughts that I think about the Patriots, and I'll always be a Patriot. I look forward to coming back here, but at this time, we're gonna move on, and I look forward and excited for the future. But always very, very appreciative of the opportunity here, the support here, and what Robert, what you've done for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Good afternoon, everyone. And as Bill mentioned yesterday, we met and mutually agreed to part ways amicably. And like a good marriage, a successful head coach-owner relationship requires a lot of hard work. And I'm very proud that our partnership lasted for 24 years. I don't think in the NFL there's been any other partnership that lasted longer and has been as productive as ours. I trusted my instincts to bring Bill back to New England in 2000 after immediately regretting not hiring him after working with him together in 1996. When I did hire him, I was still making the transition from the fan who bought season tickets in '71, sitting on the metal benches in the old Foxborough Stadium with my boys to try to become an experienced owner. Bill has taught me a lot over those years, and we had high expectations for what we could achieve together. I think we were the only ones who had those expectations, and I think it's safe to say we exceeded them.
We did.
Thanks to you. It's hard to put into words, really, when I think back to sitting on those metal benches and that we'd have an opportunity to go to 10 Super Bowls together and bring 6 Lombardi trophies home to Massachusetts. At heart, I will always be a sentimental sports fan. So this is a very emotional day for me. Some of my happiest and most memorable moments were celebrated with my family during Bill's tenure here. I recognize that it also is a very emotional day for many of our fans and most of our fans, as it represents the end of an era, one that hopefully will always be celebrated in this region. The man standing to my left brought the leadership and coaching skills that were needed to make this type of unprecedented success that we have had possible. Coach Belichick will forever be celebrated as a legendary sports icon here in New England, and I believe go in as a Pro Football Hall of Famer on the first ballot. Why? Because he is the greatest coach of all times, which makes this decision to part ways so hard. But this is a move that we mutually agreed that is needed at this time. What Bill accomplished with us, in my opinion, will never be replicated. And the fact that it was done in the salary cap and free agency era makes it even more extraordinary. I thank Coach Bill for his hard work and dedication. It'll be difficult to see him in a cutoff hoodie on the sideline, but I will always continue to wish him continued success, except when he's playing our beloved Patriots. So I thank you all for coming here today and being part of this celebration.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, some comments there in Massachusetts, in Foxborough. They'll continue, I'm sure, with the media and some questions. Bill Belichick, for those that we were saying, what he'd be wearing. He's suited up. Actually, no questions. Wow, they just walked off. Okay.
I guess they're doing questions later.
Oh, is that what they are?
Or Kraft will be doing questions later.
Gotcha. Yeah, Robert Kraft. By the way, you nailed the pocket square.
Told you.
Yeah, for sure. So it's over. It's done. And I think, they both clearly wanted to make it sound like it was amicable, and I believe that. I mean, to an extent, they looked more than cordial there. That's a shock to the system when you've been somewhere for 24 years and been that successful. 6 Super Bowl titles. But it is clear what Robert Kraft said and what I think Bill Belichick has said. We didn't hear the entirety of his conversation or his speech, but he wants to coach again. Robert Kraft basically said it's going to be tough to see him in his cutoff hoodie on another sideline because he knows he wants to coach again, and I think he's going to be coveted. So if you're Bill Belichick, you appreciate what you did there. You acknowledge the greatness. You could say you're a Patriot for life, and I believe all that. I mean, those are a quarter century of memories, of some of the best memories they'll ever have. They built a dynasty. Incredible run that we might not see again in the history of the NFL. He was the key figure behind that as far as coaching. He has a pretty good coaching tree, success, or at least guys that he've helped put into the league and not been afraid of that, to see guys move on from him, and he'll just bring in other people. People have wanted to see the Patriot way. So he is out, but look for him to be on the sideline again next year. Robert Kraft realizes that. Talk about a tough position to be in to replace Bill Belichick, and just really where they were. 5 wins this year? Mike Vrabel is one of the hot candidates there. He's a former Patriot. He's been a good coach for the Titans. He lost his job earlier in the week. So you can kind of connect the dots, at least as him as a viable candidate. And for Belichick, he does move on. And whether it's the Chargers, the Falcons, I don't know, the Raiders, whoever, there's some openings. I'm sure he's going to pursue that and probably try to strike quickly because, of an age situation. I'm sure he wants to, I don't know if it's an ultimate goal, but he'd like to end his career in a better way than this. And he is, as we speak, 14 wins behind Don Shula. So he needs 15 to become the all-time winningest coach in NFL history. On the average, that would probably be 2 seasons for him to do it if he gets in the right spot. Andy Reid, though, by the way, is coming up quickly, hot on his heels. 4th place all time. He's right now about 53 wins behind Belichick. So he's within 100.
That's about 3 Mahomes seasons.
3 good Mahomes seasons, right? And then obviously less than, about 68 away from Don Shula. So congrats to their success. I know there are portions of people out there that got tired of the Patriots. If you're a Patriot fan, it's obviously a different type of day. But those that, kind of appreciated what Tom Brady did, what Bill Belichick did, and then at some point you're like, Patriots in the Super Bowl again? I'll root for anybody but the Patriots. I found myself in that spot when they were playing certain teams. Like, I don't know if I really like the Falcons, but I'd rather have the Falcons win this Super Bowl. I don't really know if I like the Seahawks, but probably rather have the Seahawks beat the Patriots. A lot of people got into that spot when you got frustrated with them constantly winning, but that's what they did. He built that empire, and definitely parts ways here after 24 years. We also mentioned here, I know it's technically Niners at 9, but the shakeup in the NFC West. I got to imagine for Niner fans out there, there's still a little bit of a part of you that feels like the rivalry left yesterday when Pete Carroll and the Seahawks announced that they were parting ways too. I mean, that to me, the Legion of Boom is gone. Some of the players that maybe as a Niner fan you disliked are gone, but the coach was always there, Pete Carroll. Now that last piece of that is gone there too. So significant coaching news from college and pro football over the last 18 to 24 hours. For us, we will break. We will come back. Still, we got what to watch tonight. Some good games around the NBA. We've got crosstalk with Styles and Watkins. When we come back, though, back to the Kings again. A good win, a needed win, good revenge on Charlotte. We'll talk about that victory and more of what Sam Amick told us when he joined us at 8. We'll talk about that when we come back here on Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10, 5, touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
With RT Painting, our name says it all. We are a reliable and trusted commercial and residential painting company serving the Sacramento area since 1998. Employee-owned, our attention to detail is second to none. Put our decades of experience serving our community to use for you. Get a free quote today. Call us at 916-900-8112. That's 916-900-8112. Or go online to rtpainting.com. That's rtpainting.com. RT Painting, your trusted and reliable painting contractor of choice.
Hey, did you guys know? Did you guys know the average person eats 9 spiders whenever I cook for them?
From his multiple Netflix comedy specials, Anthony Jeselnik brings his new stand-up tour, Bones and All, to Hard Rock Live Sacramento. Don't miss Anthony Jeselnik live this Friday. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com and AnthonyJeselnik.com.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
On Sactown Sports.
One take, up fake, steps back, can't shoot the three, swings it again to Murray. The Sabonis right back to Keegan. Probes, keeps the dribble alive from the left elbow, gets in the paint, reaches right hand, scores. Terrific take to the basket once again by Keegan Murray, who now has 23 points. 78-62. Sabonis from Barnes drives inside, hammers it down. You talk about a statement rip with the left hand by Sabonis against Nick Richards. He planted that one on the 7-footer right on his noggin. It's 88-71. Ball in the hands now. Oh, it was in the hands of the Hornets, stolen by Fox. Breakaway to the basket and a quick score by De'Aaron Fox. It was a low-scoring third quarter. Kings outscored their opponent 24-21. 18 of the Kings' 24 points in that quarter came in the paint. Steve Clifford advances toward center court. A quick embrace with Mike Brown. And the Sacramento Kings have some retribution, some revenge, as they were nailed by this Charlotte club 8 days ago in Sacramento. And they respond tonight with a convincing 25-point victory, 123-98.
Good performance by the Sacramento Kings. We've talked a lot about it today here in their win. One of the things that stood out to me, amongst others, was the second half defense. 39 points, keeping a team below 100 points. Granted, I can hear people go, well, Charlotte's not very good. They're not. That doesn't matter right now. I mean, I think the Kings need to find a defensive presence and more offensive consistency. I think we're starting to see that a little bit offensively. We mentioned, where the Kings were offensively a year ago. It's nowhere near that right now as far as what they were doing. Number one in the league, historically great. There's other teams that are already better than that. And I think this team is good offensively. I still think they could be better. And so you're getting good production offensively and still with maybe 2 starters a night underperforming. So that's been tough for Coach Brown and the coaching staff to kind of work through this situation where you've got Fox and Sabonis playing at elite levels, Monk getting there. I'm sorry, Monk being there. Murray is what I was saying about getting there. Murray's been really good over the last week or so. And Trey Lyles has been consistent. But you've got those 5. The rest of the roster has been incredibly inconsistent, much like the team. But inside of that, you pull back and you go look at the standings. You go, all right, 5th seed, 23-14. 9 games above 500, 3 games ahead of last year's pace. This is all good. Rumors about a desire to make a trade. We talked to Sam Amick earlier and kind of got the latest on where they are with Pascal Siakam. I found that conversation very interesting because my initial read on that when I heard that the Kings pulled out of conversations with the Raptors was that Toronto probably was insistent on Keegan Murray being involved. I don't think the Kings are that interested in that, especially with the risk of Siakam being a free agent. When I pushed Sam a little bit on that, he thought more of the deal was revolving around some sort of combination of Herter, Barnes, Davion, and maybe some other entities. Now, I don't think that's Keegan. And it brings up the great question is, would you do that? Would that risk be too much going, hey, look, Kevin Herter, Harrison, let's just take it at that level. And I'm sure there would be a little bit more, but Kevin Herter, Harrison Barnes, Davion Mitchell, that it nets you Pascal Siakam, and Siakam insists at least pre-trade that he would not re-sign with you or would be reluctant to re-sign with you. Would you take that risk? I would really think about that. I really would. Because, yes, I get the risk of losing Pascal Siakam in the offseason. What would you have, though, for the rest of this season? I think you'd have a more concrete starting lineup. You'd have a more high-level player, a 4th high-level player, I would say, to your starting lineup. You have a chance to impress Pascal Siakam and convince him to stay. I mean, you get him in your group. You get him around this culture. You get him around Kings fans. I think you have every opportunity there. So the worst-case scenario in that would be what? You finish out the year. I'm sure there'd be games where he would help you. Worst case would be he doesn't re-sign, and maybe Herter, Mitchell, Barnes find some sort of groove on Toronto, and you go, wait, what happened here? Well, as of now, they're not finding their groove here. Those 3 guys have all underperformed this year, and Siakam's been a 2-time All-Star. I really would think about it. I really would. And maybe that's what the front office is thinking about. Maybe they're thinking about what other offers are out there, what other potential ways to make the team better are. But I'd be curious from you guys, certainly on the chat, on the text line. Hey, this is just one person's opinion. But would you be interested in anything like that with the risk of kind of knowing that Pascal Siakam, at least his camp, would not be willing to re-sign here? And let's reiterate what Sam said. That's not an exclusive thing to Sacramento. I think if there's rumors to the Warriors, to the Pacers, wherever else Siakam might be ultimately rumored to go, I think that camp is saying, look, there's no intention of re-signing there. I think his best chances to get the most amount of money is on a restructure or re-signing and an extension in Toronto, and then maybe you could trade him. Well, I think more people would be interested in him right now for this season and run the risk of, okay, how much money can we get you for in the offseason? So you got maybe 2 different pathways here from what player and agent want versus what Toronto maybe is looking for versus what the team Pascal Siakam would be that would be trading for him would want. So would you do something like that if that was the actual proposed deal? To me, I don't think it's as risky. We got people saying no, no, no. Others saying yes. So that's the kind of spot. Look, we all pretend to be GMs here. People probably do the trade machine. I've got a trade idea. This is what I would do. Now, when you start doing it with other circumstances out there that you know, impending free agency and a group that's telling you, yeah, we're likely not going to re-sign with you, that changes the game, doesn't it? Or does it? If you're trading out players that at this point, to be as cavalier as say they're doing nothing for you, but that's kind of been the case. Now they're playing minutes and there's a role and there's other things than just points and rebounds and assists, certainly locker room and all that. And you got to be careful of that stuff. But I also think when you're aggressive, when you're a player and you see your team get shaken up with a trade, that also shows you what the front office is looking to do and what they want to do. When you see it the other way, like, man, we're just going to leave this roster as is. We're not winning. We're not good enough. You're not adding to it. That can be deflating to a locker room. So I'm sure there's plenty of players on the Kings that are waiting for the trade deadline that are looking at it like, wait, could I be the one that goes? And others that maybe wanting to go, and others that want to stay. I mean, that's the tricky part of this. You've built relationships when you're in a front office, but you also have to do what you think is right by the team, by ownership, by what the organization has done to hire you for the job. So it's something to watch, as it seems to be that's on hold right now. What other offers are out there? What are the things that the Kings trying to uncover? Because to me, I think they've seen enough to know that if you can keep a group of Lyles, Monk, Murray, Fox, Sabonis, and add to it in a way that's a big splash or something that changes enough of your roster performance, even if it's a smaller move, I think they know they have to do it. And they, for multiple reasons. One, what we've seen in the inconsistent play. And two, the fact that if you look at the standings on a nightly basis, again, you look at the top, is Minnesota that much better than Sacramento? Are the Oklahoma City Thunder better than Sacramento? Record-wise, yes. But, I mean, are they a much better team? Could the Kings, if they faced them and they had to go to Minnesota and win a Game 7, could they do it? Could they do that in OKC? Could they do that against Denver or the Clippers? That's what you have to think about, is where the end game is. A team that might be in the Western Conference Finals, that if you don't have home court advantage, is your team good enough to go and do that? I question whether they are, and I think they know that too.
Some interesting news from Adrian Wojnarowski.
Oh,
don't go crazy. This isn't
okay.
Getting traded. ESPN sources: the NBA is still working on final sign-off from the Players Association, but the 2024 NBA draft is preparing to move to 2 days, June 26th and 27th in Brooklyn, Wednesday for the first round picks and Thursday for the second round picks.
My immediate reaction is I don't like it.
Yeah.
The NBA draft isn't too long.
It's perfect.
This feels like, you know what it feels like, Chris?
I don't know what you think it feels like.
Yeah, you do.
Really?
Yep. I'm leading you. I'm sending you a signal. I know this feels like.
This seems like a cash grab.
Yes, it does. The timing of the draft moves quickly. Trades on draft night move quickly. I mean, sometimes my only pet peeve with the draft, and this is something that I don't think the NBA will ever change, is, hey, Christopher Laud, the number one pick for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And then 2 minutes, or we even know before you're getting picked that they're trading you, but we see you with the Cavs hat on. I'm like, he's a Minnesota Timberwolf. Like, let him wear the Timberwolves hat.
It's also like we found out before he's even being interviewed.
Yes.
His agent and him know that he's already going to the team that traded for him.
Right. And that, or even how we know the draft picks, they're on pick 4 and like pick 6 is being announced on Twitter. You're like, can we,
especially with this day and age, like no one's going to be like, wait, what?
Yeah.
What happened? Why is he wearing?
Yeah, exactly. Clean that up. But to have it 2 days, I mean, certainly cash grab. The second round, no offense to those guys, it generally isn't as exciting. And I think that's why it works all in one day. And I mean, the draft, I think, literally is maybe about 4 hours or so, which, I mean, it's a lot of television, but it's a slower time. It makes some sense. It's just different than the NFL. I'm not as much into the NFL draft as I am the NBA draft, partly because I think it's just a clean, easy show to follow. Like the Kings had a couple of second-round picks last year. Like, all right, I'll stick around for the second round. Now, if that was the second day and that's all they had, I guess, I know I would probably still watch it, but it doesn't seem to have the same kind of zip to me. But they're leaving it where they are, though, you said. What was the date? Still June?
Yeah.
Okay, because there was some thought about having it after free agency, because then you could kind of dictate what you want to do free agency, and that may change how you draft. But I like the way that is right now. So, all right, interesting news there. We will break here. Yes, for sure. When we come back, what to follow tonight? The Kings are off, but there's other NBA games to watch tonight. We've got that and still to come. Crosstalk with Styles and Watkins, all coming up here on Sactown Sports.
The Philadelphia Eagles have limped into the postseason. Tampa Bay won their division on the final day of the regular season. These two collide on Monday to close out Super Wild Card Weekend. We have all the play-by-play action Monday at 4:30 of the Eagles and Buccaneers on Sactown Sports, your home for Super Bowl 58.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big old nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
The new year is a great time for reflection, to appreciate all the good things in your life and to prepare your resolutions, or bucket list as I like to call it. 2024 would be the perfect time to introduce someone new to the game of golf. Let them in on the fun. Or if you've never played, it's a wonderful time to start. Maybe go to a driving range, maybe take an introductory lesson. Or if you're an established golfer, maybe you want to get fitted for a new set of golf clubs. Maybe you want to take some refresher lessons to sharpen up your game. Consider a golf getaway, either with your significant other or a group of buddies. It's a great way to play new courses, eat some tasty new foods, and certainly laugh a lot with your friends. If you normally use a golf cart, consider walking with a push cart, or maybe even lightening your bag and carrying your clubs. Go back and play where you played your first round of golf or your all-time favorite round. Remember why you play the game and how much it means to you. Leave the course in better condition than you found it. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Have you ever envisioned having $500,000 in advertising to conquer the remodel market, but felt overwhelmed at the thought of going it alone? Now you don't have to. Join Subcontractors United and share your advertising with 2 other contractors in your trade. Get $500,000 in advertising for only $1,042 a month. We are so sure this will work that we're giving away free advertising until June 2024 to qualified contractors. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today.
It's time to buck up, Sacramento. The professional bull riders are back. PBR Sacramento Wrangler Long Live Cowboys Classic will take over downtown's Golden One Center this February 2nd through 4th. 3 huge nights of edge-of-your-seat bucking, featuring some of the biggest bulls and toughest cowboys on the planet. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster. Get your tickets for a weekend of non-stop bucking action this February 2nd through 4th.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this, because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-817-7142. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-817-7142 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142.
There are many things to love about winter. Cozy sweaters, celebrations, and family time. But winter can also bring many stressors, extra expenses, seasonal bugs, and so much family time. If you and your loved ones are feeling stressed or anxious this winter, Cal Hope can help. Check out our free mental health resource at calhope.org today.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sactown Sports.
Well, as it turns out, it's been a big news day from late afternoon yesterday into the morning today. Let's kind of look back at it. Pete Carroll in Seattle. Well, I couldn't say they part ways. He just won't be the head coach. Sounds like Seattle's trying to find another position for him internally. Whether or not he accepts it is another situation.
Your job, Pete, is to sit right here.
Right here and chew gum. Well, you've mastered the chewing gum part. He's a chomper of that gum, isn't he?
He chews it like he hates it.
But chews it all the time. And that's what's so funny is like if you don't, I'm look at him just chew that gum. Yeah, he's chewing gum.
We had in high school in basketball, first half just getting our butts kicked. And our coach came in just pissed off. And for some reason, so since we went to small schools, we were just in this classroom. And for some reason, there was like these two hard candies.
The classroom was like the locker room
kind
of thing? Yeah.
So we go in there and there's like two hard candies on the desk. And he's just like fuming and like kind of like pacing. He opens it up. And he just throws it in his mouth. He's like, he just like chews it up. Then he gets the other one. He just puts it back. He's like, and he's chewing it. We're like, what is happening right now?
And you're not hearing the message. You're just watching him eat candy.
It's just like these like big, thick, hard candies. And he's just like one bite.
Yeah. Go out there, man. Young guys, whatever it is.
That was that was also the same game that he stole the ball from a player.
What?
So he called like, I can't remember if this was the first half or the second half. It might have been the first half. And this might have been like, he was fuming. So he calls timeout, draws up a play. It's like our best play. Like we always score on it, that type of thing. Draws it up, immediately gives it away. The kid is going down the sideline and he is in such a rage that he just kind of swipes it because he's so mad and everyone just kind of stops. And like the ref just blows a whistle, technical, and he's just like, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that."
Did I'm sorry work? That doesn't. I didn't know
did not work.
I didn't know you played for Bobby Knight.
Huh?
I didn't know
He wasn't that bad.
Well, that's pretty
We
bad.
were a very frustrating team. I will give him that.
I'm sure you helped ease his frustration.
I was one of the best players. I was the player of the game that game when we came back and won.
Oh, did you get the crown and the chain?
We didn't have a crown.
Did you like the beam?
No,
But I'm not doubting your talent, whether or not you were a good player for the coach. But I'm guessing attitude. Were you a troublemaker for the coach?
No.
Okay.
I was the guy on the team that kept everybody loose.
Ah, yeah. Okay. Got to have every one of those, right? Every team needs one.
Yeah, that was me.
That was you?
Or when I get on the court and I do my pump fake 3 times and then get the guy up in the air and get an and one, the whole bench.
Yeah, Chris, way to go. That's your guy. Yeah, that's cool. So we had that news with Pete Carroll. We had Nick Saban surprisingly stepping down at Alabama. And then this morning, officially, if you heard it earlier this hour, Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft holding a joint press conference talking about how they amicably parting ways, and both kind of hinting that coaching is still in his future. Bill Belichick would like to coach. Robert Kraft talking about how he will dread the day that he sees Bill Belichick on another sideline in a hoodie, cut-off hoodie, try to play the Patriots. So I think they both acknowledge that could be a reality. We've also discussed the Kings in their victory as they got it done against the Charlotte Hornets. And now Sacramento finds themselves 23-14, 3 games ahead of last year and a season high, 9 games above 500. All right, we're going to do it. Let's check it with our guy. Good morning, JR.
Hey, you know 100% Chris was the troublemaker on the team.
I know. I just tried to give him an option, but I know he was.
Every coach probably went, oh, geez, he's on my team again?
Yeah.
Do we have to pick him?
Can we cut him?
I know it's CYBL. They play to play. We have to keep him. His mom sent some brownies in.
Yeah, they're good brownies.
They're good brownies. Mom says, hey, can you just watch him from noon to 2 every day, please?
Keep him out of my house.
Please keep him out.
Yes.
I'll pay extra. I'll buy uniforms for the whole team.
Exactly.
Hey, did you see the other night? So after we beat Detroit, and I don't know, maybe it happens more often than you're the pro here. There was the loss column had, Minnesota first through all the way through 11, and everyone had one loss more, than the team below them. I've never seen that before. I think it started with 10 and went, 10 through whatever, 20.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, mathematically, that is the craziest thing I've ever seen this late in the season.
And I know how you are with math.
I am. I'm very good with it. I mean, a lot of times when 2 and 2 equals 5, I'm right on that and say, hey, no, it's 6.
Exactly.
But I just was like, okay, that's how close everything is. Everyone's like literally one game in the loss column behind each other. And you were talking about earlier how close this West is.
Yeah.
And the little things that change it. Now, here's my quick educated comment. Minnesota definitely will come back to earth, 100%.
Okay.
Oklahoma, I think, is playing a little bit over their head, too. The Denver's Denver. They're going to win. There's no way unless something crazy happens injury-wise, they're fine. Clippers scare the heck out of me if they stay healthy, which is, we know half their team's made of glass, so as long as they don't break. That's why we need our Kings to win these games, that make up the difference of that loss column right now.
So maybe you're looking at best scenario is a 3 seed for the Kings if they finish behind the teams like Denver and the Clippers?
Yeah, here's the thing. I think all Kings fans, if we do fall 3rd or 4th, we don't obviously want to play New Orleans.
Oh, my gosh.
Any possible freaking way. Either that or we kneel on the ball. We get Pete back and we go 4 corners and we just go for like a 60-50 game or something.
Yeah, we'll punt on first down.
That's a good strategy. It's bold.
Yeah,
Cotton,
no one's doing it.
We'll see if it pays off.
Yeah, for sure. I think New Orleans, JR, will do whatever they can in the last weeks to try to match up with the Kings.
If they do, I will go find Zion and talk to his mom and tell him, I'm going to send Chris after him, and he's a troublemaker. He will disrail this whole freaking team.
That's how it works.
That's how we tie it. That's how we tie a call together right there.
Well
You're
done.
a pro. Love you. Bye-bye.
All right, JR, coming in. Questioning you, Chris. He thinks
that was like one of the more normal sounding JRs, though.
I know.
Which kind of scares me.
Yeah, I appreciated it, though. Gave us some little nuggets, some things to watch as far as teams out there. And he's right. I mean, I do anticipate a little bit of a fall from the Thunder and the Timberwolves, but will it be enough for teams like the Kings and some of these other teams tonight to watch? How about the Celtics at the Bucks? That's a good matchup. Kings will face the Bucks on Sunday. The Knicks at the Mavericks. Dallas has been sliding a little bit here lately. They are at 22-16. And then the Suns at the Lakers. The Kings will face the Suns to close out this 5-game road trip on Tuesday. All right, we will break when we come back. Final segment, Crosstalk with Styles and Watkins. And we got celebrity birthdays brought to you by our friends at Crumble Cookies. That is in our final segment, and that is coming up on Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't. Right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. People come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Did you know there's dust floating around your home?
Really?
Yeah.
Dust starts on hard surfaces like shelves and ceiling fans. And when you walk by, dust starts to move, compromising the quality of the air you and your family breathe.
So what do I do?
Get Swiffer Heavy Duty Duster. Swiffer Heavy Duty Duster is the fast and easy way to trap and lock dust.
Before it gets into the air.
Exactly. So you can just... Swiffer Heavy Duty Duster, proud partner of the American Lung Association.
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Hey, Jess, want to come for a ride on my motorcycle? You know, we can talk about our feelings and explore our emotional compatibility.
I thought you'd never ask.
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive, and you could use the savings to make sure the motorcycle is always ready for your dream girl. So keep the dream alive and the savings coming with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
The 2024 Honda Civic LX sedan from Elk Grove Honda offers all the safety, reliability, performance, and great gas mileage you've come to expect from Honda for all these years. With anti-lock brakes, tire pressure monitoring system, backup camera, and Honda safety sensing package including collision mitigation braking system, you can see why a sporty, redesigned Civic from Elk Grove Honda gives you a lot for your money. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers, the No Surprise guys. We love that old song, Respect. You know, RESPECT. It's a good song and a good business philosophy. At Bell Brothers, everything we do is designed to show respect for our customers. We show up on time out of respect. Our technicians are clean-cut, friendly, and wear identification badges out of respect. We do good deeds for free for our customers and leave their homes cleaner than we found them. That's right, out of respect. So, if you want plumbing and AC service from a company that will show you some RESPECT, call Bell Brothers. We promise to respect your time, your home, and you. Call Bell Brothers right now to schedule an $87 precision tune-up. Or call if you have plumbing problems. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Birthdays are meant to be spent with family and friends, and nothing brings family and friends together better than freshly baked and home-delivered crumble cookies.
It's time for the news of the day.
The latest headlines, the biggest stories, hard-hitting analysis.
Yeah, this is none of those things. And now, here's Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
Yeah. We're here.
We are here.
I'm freaking jacked.
That's right.
Pete Carroll is jacked.
Always. That was a great ball.
He does. He can spin it.
He can.
And he can chomp that gum. Offend everybody with that gum
dust.
chewing.
Into
Don't
dust.
chew that gum the way you chew your gum. Bothers me.
How many pieces? Didn't they used to do how many pieces he would go through in a game? Wasn't that a thing?
I'm sure that's been a thing.
Yeah.
I used to chew gum a lot more. I haven't had gum in a while.
You know what? I'm be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't like gum.
You don't like it?
It actually creeps me out.
Total spring guy move.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're doing that.
Well, you came up with fall. That was random. But
no,
I appreciate
it's not random. It's not random.
Totally
It's
random.
fall guy.
It's random.
You know the fall people. I can't wait until I can get my pumpkin spice.
Well, that's not me.
No, but you went from what was the thing that Chris did? You're like you're probably.
I said I prefer dark chocolate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
I
you
said you
jumped to
probably like fall.
Like, wait, what? How do we get there?
But I was right.
Sort of, I guess.
Stereotypes aren't offensive if they're right.
Yeah, exactly. They're 100% okay.
All right. What are we doing?
What are we doing? What are you guys doing today? What is coming up on the show?
Yeah, we're doing a lot. We have a lot of conversation about the coaches. Okay, a lot of greats retired yesterday and or decided, maybe this isn't for me anymore. We are also going to talk about the Kings being the team of the year and them going back to back for the first time. That's a lot of momentum heading into a huge weekend, and Coach Mike Brown saying this is the closest he feels like they've been all season. So that kind of scares me a bit, because normally when something like that gets said, you take a step back, but we feel good about it.
Yeah, it does sound like there was a lot of, with the lack of a closed door team meeting, it felt like something happened over the last day or two with the team, but okay, beat Charlotte and Detroit, which is great. I mean, and yesterday really was a no-doubter. That's fine, but it's really kind of keep proving it, right?
Yeah. I think obviously between the two games, and the Bucks have kind of underwhelmed a little bit, but it would be nice to get one of them.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to get both, but you get one of them to just show, hey, we can hang around and we can do some things. I know Joel Embiid didn't play yesterday, so we'll see whether he plays or not. You're still in Philly, hostile environment. I don't know what jersey Mr. Draper is going to be wearing, so it's going to be a great night.
9 straight losses to the Sixers, 14 in a row to the Bucks.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
So in reality, though, of the 3 that are left, Phoenix is the most important if you can get that. But I'm still with you. I'd like one of those other 2 if they could get it.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Can add it to the list of good teams they've beaten this year, too. It's just, adds to the confusion, I guess, if you will. But, this team has just struggled to beat we talked yesterday about the Celtics and, the Sixers and the Bucks. I think it'd be a good step for this team to kind of, get over that hump and tell themselves, as they've lost to the Blazers and had close calls against some bad teams, they're a good team, and you can beat good teams. And at the end of the day, that's what's most important when you're going to be in the playoffs, because it's only going to be good teams.
Later, I was just going to say later on in the show, Brandon Gustafson, who is a writer for Seattle Sports, seattlesports.com, is going to join us to talk Pete Carroll. I think it will be interesting for all the Niner fans out there and just how they feel about the end of an era. You do love to hate somebody. I think it's part of fandom, and you're going to have to learn to hate somebody else now.
What was it like when Phil Jackson left LA here? What were people, was it like excitement? Was there a good amount of respect? I don't think I was.
You were in Sacramento.
I meant the reaction.
That was the villain, right? Yeah. That was the guy. It's a little bit like I was saying earlier. I think there's a portion of people, and I was it when the Patriots. I'll take the Falcons. I don't like the Falcons, but I want anybody but the Patriots.
Right.
Oh, the Seahawks. Anybody but the Patriots. And then now
that's when I'm like, okay, I'll root for the Patriots this time.
But it was a little bit like when Kobe came through. Like everybody hated that group of Lakers. And Kobe. And then the last game was like, oh no, wait. We don't have anybody to He was the villain. Like that was the guy we'd love to boo. Now you're leaving us like standing ovation here. Everybody's like, thank you, Kobe. Wait, I thought we hated him. And so now I think it's similar. It's like that's the last piece of the rivalry to me for the 49ers. Now it'll still continue, but really it was peak Harbaugh and Carroll.
Right.
And Harbaugh's been gone, but now Carroll's gone. That's weird.
Well, with Pete Carroll being gone, hopefully we get I know some Niner fans don't want this, but if you get Niners, Rams, that adds another chapter.
True.
I guess a new rivalry, and you have the McVay Shanahan connection. There's always a rivalry.
There is.
Can we get Harbaugh in Seattle?
That's what I want.
You want that?
Just straight chaos.
I like chaos and drama.
That would be chaos.
Yeah.
I think Niner fans still like Harbaugh. They would now dislike him, right?
Well, they love. Well, I know it went the other way, but I mean, you got to tell some of these youngins that Richard Sherman played on the Seahawks.
True.
This guy does he even
hate
own?
him.
Yeah, does he even own any Seahawks gear anymore?
It's gone.
It's gone.
With the gum and his coach. Today is National Arkansas Day.
Never been.
Ugh, gross. Do yourself a favor and never go.
Wow.
Sounds like a guy.
How do you
Arkansas
really
gave us Malik
feel?
Monk.
Arkansas.
National Step in a Puddle and Splash Your Friends Day.
Why are we doing this?
Are we friends if I jump in a puddle and splash you?
No. You got rain boots?
No.
You have rain boots?
I went to Yosemite a couple years ago and had to get some.
I've never even looked at a pair of rain boots. I got Timberlands.
There you go. There's your rain boots.
Definitely not rain boots.
Those
Those are the most expensive rain boots you could buy.
National Milk Day.
Oh, no thanks.
Should have drank more when I was a kid.
Yeah?
I don't think so.
There's your bone density.
Yeah. I don't know.
I feel like enough people don't talk about the fact that we're the only species that drinks milk from different.
That was very Chris Verlon of you, I must say.
It was. It really was. Well, we've spent some good time together.
All right, now we're going to test all of you guys because it is January 11th. We need to figure out which celebrities are having birthdays today. Thanks to our friends at Crumble Cookies. Birthdays are meant to be spent with family and friends, and nothing brings family and friends together better than Crumble Cookies. Quickly we go. Happy birthday to Mary.
Tyler Moore.
Poppins.
Would it help if I said Mary J.
Blige.
Poppins.
How old is Mary J. Blige today?
Wow. I don't want to be disrespectful. I'm going to go 61.
That seems very disrespectful.
That seems so disrespectful.
Well, I don't know.
Seems like the most.
I mean, it can't be that far off.
I think you hit her with a sledgehammer.
I don't think it's that far off.
Well, we'll see. I don't mean to be disrespectful.
93. We'll say Barry's 55.
58.
All right, Chris Watkins, the closest, 53.
Man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mary.
Mary, write a song,
sorry.
put Alan's name in it.
No, please don't.
Yeah.
Mary J was on the Mitchell Report as well.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What is happening in this
Yeah,
crosstalk?
there's Mary J. Blige. There's Dr. Dre was on it, and there was someone else on it too. I want to say that doesn't matter. Check it out yourself. Crazy list.
Easy read.
Yeah.
Super easy. Happy birthday to Tony
Danza.
Tony
Parker.
Tony Parker, Tony Danza, Tony Allen, former Memphis
first team All D.
Yeah, he'll tell you that too.
First team. He is
Don't be
42.
disrespectful. How old?
42.
Tony's 39.
40.
We have a correct answer. You feel good about it, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you should. 42.
Let's go.
Tony Allen.
I have to earn my way back.
Yeah,
on
you
my
got your
stripes,
respect from Tony Allen. Happy birthday to Chris
Burlott.
Watkins.
Yeah. Both of them.
Chris
Lloyd.
Carter.
Chris Hemmingsworth.
Happy birthday to, he was just here in the building the other day, Chris Boucher of the Toronto Raptors.
He's in this building?
Yeah, in this building. He was here, turning in timesheets.
Chris Boucher is 27.
28.
26.
Chris Watkins, closest, 31.
What? No, I said 28.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the winner.
That's
then.
right.
31. I'm bad at math. And last but not least, let's go with Ellie
Golding.
De La Cruz.
Happy birthday to the Reds phenom, Ellie De La Cruz. How old is he
Baseball
today?
guys are weird. I'm going to go.
Sure
He
are.
was younger, so younger for baseball. I'm going to say 23.
I'll say 24.
You got to go lower. I wouldn't go higher, Chris.
22.
You gotta go lower, yeah.
We have a correct answer.
It's mine, though.
Good coaching by Alan. 22.
What?
Yes. You set him up.
He sold it.
Wow.
Yes. Just sold it.
That's it for us. Thanks again to Sam Amick for joining us. Kelly Brothers as well. For all of you out there, stay tuned. Coming up next, it's Styles and Watkins right here on Sactown Sports. See ya.
I'm freaking jacked.
Has Monty put together a roster